This is what democracy looks like. So if folks are ever wondering why we're enslaved and run by policy, statute, and code and various misleaders, get a good look at the metaverse and what goes on these panels from time to time. They know they don't care about words, terms, and symbols. They know they don't care about etymology. They freely admit it. They're so mind and heart controlled, they're going to follow policy and false authority to their bitter end. And no matter how much I try to get them to refocus and recenter and research, the word is research, who and what you are and what this all means, I can't get them to do it. You'd rather argue with me over running stop signs and what that means. It's the loss, injury, and harm we got an issue with. It's not the damn sign. These people never saw a sign they didn't want to follow. They never saw, an idol or a misleader they didn't want to listen to and follow. I'm pretty much done with it all, as I have been for a while. So yeah, when I come anywhere, it's all love at the end of the day, but when we have the back and forth, I'm going to turn up on you, I'm going to hold your feet to the fire, and I'm going to question you and hold you accountable, and I'm going to define the words and terms and put it in your face. And if you want to argue with me, I'm going to call you a bitch-ass motherfucker, like the intro said. It is what it is. You guys don't understand why I do what I do. I don't give a fuck what happens. Don't you get it? I'm not like you. I don't give a fuck what happens. I can't. I care, but I can't give a fuck. Because if I do, it'll allow the powers that shouldn't be, that we've given our power away to take me down from the inside out. See? I don't care that you don't understand the words and terms and etymologies and symbols. It's all there. Even if it wasn't there, I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do. Okay? You didn't grow up like me. I was from a broken home. I grew up in a broken cultural divide, I guess you could say. Suburban white people and urban African Americans and Latinos, right below the poverty line. So, coming from a broken home and being a broken person and being around a whole bunch of other folks who culturally had some differences, we'll say, I lived my whole life expecting to die or go to prison. So the fact that I'm still here talking, especially after everything thus far, there's so many things that have happened. I don't get into it. You don't need to know every piece of my fucking life story. You may not want to know. It may not be necessary to know. Maybe it is necessary to know. Maybe that's part of the problem. You don't truly understand me and you think you do. My whole upbringing, I was expecting to die or go to prison. I just didn't know what the circumstances were going to be. If we don't move into this space and truly understand who and what we are and what our rights and freedoms are worth, which is dying for going to a box, we're not going to have them. Worse than that, we're going to be diseased. We're not going to have peace. We're not going to have inspiration. We're not going to have true faith. We're not going to have empowerment. We're not going to have resources. You have to draw the line of distinction, and you have to move into that if you want the things that we say we want. There's going to be no other mechanism to get it. If I have to die or go to prison doing what's true or what's right, I'm so way ahead of the game at this point. Yeah, there's only two things that you could do to stop me now, and you can't even do that indefinitely. You got to put me in a box forever. You got to kill me. If you put me in a box, you're going to have to let me out at some point, because I haven't killed nobody and I'm not doing anything. And if you're going to do it, you got to be completely corrupt, and I don't put it past you. But if you put me in there, you got to keep me forever. And you still aren't going to know what to do with me, because I'm going to raise the roof on wherever you put me. Just the way that I am. You know it and I know it. I don't even have to get uppity to do it. Energetically, I'm going to raise the roof on that institution. When I go to these places, they go, get this motherfucker out of here. Energetically, we do not need him here. You go in there, it's like the pit of hell. It's like death warmed over. I come in there, I bring such a light and such information and understanding and such care that it just flips it on its head. They say, get him out of here. It's bad for business. Test. All right, so an old intro that we brought to the new platform, I guess, or not really new platform, but new layout in my back area. But let's not talk too much about my back area. This is impromptu. You know, I was just feeling the itch. I figured let's do a little bit of slave hunting. So we're going to turn on the Fox Noise live news coverage. We're going to let it play. I kind of messed up. I couldn't help myself because now I have a new breaking news thumbnail and it says breaking slave news. I forget if, I don't know if people, I say I forget because I don't know if I've ever really known. But I don't know if the thumbnail shows when you're live or if it shows afterward. So I did that because I was betting on it not showing live, because then the slaves won't come in if they see. It's like an animal. When you hunt for an animal, when you hunt for slaves, if they smell the urine or feces of a free man, they don't come around. They get intimidated. So I have to try to like get in the blind and then set the area up to where there's no traces of me or what we do, to bring them in and then pounce on them. So if it doesn't work today, if we can't, usually we're pretty good at drawing them in and pouncing on them. If they don't get drawn in today and I can't pounce, it's because I put the thumbnail, messed up the algorithm. So we're going to try it out, see if it works, and then we'll go from there. I may throw in some comments along the way, but I want to try to bait the creatures in. I like that. That's fun. It's fun for me. I can't hunt animals and feel good about it, but I can hunt slaves. All right. Oh, my screen share is not up. See? It even happens to the best of us, even a god of all media. Believe this? This is kind of nice. Wait, hold on. Where was my guy before?
Much as you, Mr. President,
yield the floor.
Yeah, there we go.
That in practice, Mr. President, would make it harder for eligible.
All right, and if you guys also, oh crap, I think some slaves might be getting baited in already. All right, just real quick, if you guys also, it should go without saying, that's part of the rules around here, but I guess I gotta like remind folks or let them in on it. If you got questions, comments, concerns, or something you want to address specifically, you can always call in or hit the link in between us hunting slaves. Because I guess part of my crazy life is I gotta be available for some of you folks to like talk courting and loop, so you can like just be inspired to try and then get a result and then continue on that journey if you choose so. So yeah, that's available. Everything's available. Right. I got to cover my tracks, and then I have to put out slave bait. I have to put out slave urine and slave feces and various treats that slaves like to snack on, and then it draws them in. Sometimes we even get to witness them mating right in front of us. A glorious event.
Welcome back, everyone, to Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Mike Page. We want to take you now back out live to Capitol Hill. On the Senate side, we have lawmakers continuing to speak. Senator Padilla is speaking right now, Democrat from California. Let's listen in.
What this bill is truly about. Now, the title of the bill makes reference to insider trading, but there's a lot of passion about the SAVE Act has been shoved into this bill as it's come over from the House. back to the stock trading piece. This is something that we absolutely ought to be addressing. But there's two obvious reasons why this bill from the Republican House is nothing more than a political gimmick that was never truly intended to become law. First, it exempts the president. The president, who without a doubt is the person with the single greatest ability to impact a company or an entire industry on any given day. It also exempts the vice president. Why not include them? Why should they be exempted? Well, maybe it has something to do with the fact that President Donald Trump, the leader of the Republican Party, has made over 21,000 stock trades across 8 separate accounts. And if you do the math, that amounts to 85 trades per day. 85 trades per day. That's not normal, and certainly not indicative of somebody focused on the cost of living for hardworking Americans. No, Donald Trump has earned the title of trader-in-chief. His portfolio is not only constantly trading stock, he's reaping huge profits and trading in stocks of companies that he's actively promoting. I think that sounds bad. It gets much worse. We all know that President Trump owns his own social media company, right? It's
I love this. Like, we're not in the algorithm yet, but we already got a couple like filing in. And right away, no, that wasn't his company, which is being ran by his son, not Donald Trump personally. So are you really going to run? Of course you are. Of course you're going to run inauthentic corporate male pimp game on me and everybody else. Like, we don't know how that works. Come on, bro. Cut it out. We ain't at court here right now. Other than Honorable Judge Unsslavius, I'm not actually a real judge. Oh, I am, but I'm not. Like, I can make judgments, but I don't have a black dress and I didn't get a certification. But we get it. You're going to run your pimp game on the citizen slaves so you can like stay legal, right? But we all know that when you give the company to your son and let him run it while you're president, you're advising him the whole time behind the scenes. So you're still insider trading. Don't give me the garbage game that you give to your lawyers and to the court to try to protect your ass. We all know what's going on there. And again, this isn't about my TDS and me hating Trump. I'm not a leftist. I'm pointing out bullshit wherever it exists and breeds. That's what we do here. We point out the bullshit wherever it lives on any side, because that's what integrity and principles and value systems is really about. Not what you guys all like to do on both sides, which is cult the fuck out, make excuses and justifications and blame the other side. Okay? So, yeah. That's not him, and it's not his company anymore. He's not running it. His son owns it now and is running it, right? And he's not advising in the background. He's not the right-hand man co-owning and running it right now, right?
Platform that he uses to post.
Because everyone's a fucking moron like you.
And now it's been reported that his company is planning to sell early access to those presidential statements to hedge funds, to Wall Street for $100,000 a month. That's right.
The person in chat is now responding to me saying, no, maybe that's what you would do. No, quite the opposite, actually. I'm not a corporatist. So you're now claiming you know what's being done. So would you like to call in? The number's down there. I'll throw it again, even though it's pinned, and the link is there. Please tell me. Okay, I got to recopy it because I did restart my system. So please tell me all about how you know what Donald Trump's doing exactly. And yeah, we'll be totally open to platform that because I think it's good to get the truth out. I'll even take hearsay, even though courts won't accept hearsay. I'll accept hearsay here. You just tell me you know Don, or you know someone that knows Don, and you have the scoop on how his son's company that's no longer his is being run, and how I'm the lowlife who would be lying and cheating on everyone, right? More projection, more denial.
The price of inside information.
See, these people have TDS. It's Trump denial syndrome. Trump can't do no wrong. Trump's their fucking daddy. He's their god. They'll back him no matter what, because Merca. And you just slip another few IQ points, and there goes the moral Oh, we got a call. Hello, hello.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you? Have we heard from you before?
No. I just called and I started watching you like 2 days ago or something. I saw you. I was scanning through YouTube and I saw you and you were speaking some powerful truth. You were talking to a Trump supporter, I think, for.
Right. So you tend to agree with me?
Yeah, I do agree with you 100% because, you know, a lot of people don't understand about the Bill of Rights that was ratified December 15th, 1791. And people say 1789. And a lot of people don't understand what a corporation is because, like, I talk to my neighbors and they don't even know what a corporation is. They hear it on the news or they see it on commercials, but they really don't understand what it is. You know?
Sure, do you realize we live in a world where if you really back up from it and look at it honestly, nobody knows what anything is, including themselves and how they work? Like, let's just be real with ourselves and each other. You don't know what your body actually is and is capable of and what it actually does beyond what they tell you when they look inside with the tools and then report back, right? So, I mean, let's just start there. Let's just start there and work off from there with everything. And I'm not saying for you and I'm just saying as a general principle. That's how we really get past all the nonsense. But go ahead.
You heard of MK Ultra program, right?
Of course. Is this the best phone that you have or the best tech that you have? And can you get closer to whatever it is? Because you sound distant.
Is that better?
Potentially, yeah. You sound a bit distant or like you're on one of those hands-free headsets.
Is that better?
It seems a bit so, yeah.
Well, I used to be in a mental facility in Philadelphia, and the MK Ultra program is still alive and well, but they don't call it MK Ultra, they call it programming.
You were in a mental facility?
Well, yeah, because I exposed the corruption where I lived at, and I had to move, and there was a lot of chaos. That was back in 2015 and 2024, but these people are so powerful and so sick, and there's like people, like you said, we don't even know ourselves, and that's the sad part about it all.
Well, you could argue that's the sad part about it, or that's the fascinating and exciting and interesting and inspiring part about it, right? Is that when we step back from what we're told and get rid of all the garbage we think we know, it opens up a world of, you know, magic, miraculous beingness, right? Discovery, wonder, co-creative alignment, right? And that's the real journey back to self and to alignment with the universe, you could argue, as far as ancient wisdom is concerned. And I would agree as far as my own firsthand experience goes. Go ahead.
To me, it was like more powerful. Truth is more powerful than fantasy and reality. Like reality is, and truth is more powerful than fantasy.
Yeah, and this is perfect because I'm regularly saying this, right? That the revelation of God and a godly experience is way more exciting, inspiring, miraculous, and magical than anything the religionists can give us or show us, right?
I agree with that because when I got locked up the first time, the second time, the third time, and then they released me because the doctor said, well, he's not homicidal, he's suicide. He just said certain things he should have never said about the federal government or the Federal Reserve.
Why is that? Why are you not allowed to talk about Federal Reserve?
That, like you said before, about people, because you're dealing with people that are sick in the head.
I thought it was interesting too that it stuck out to me when the DHS came to me, and it seemed like a setup when they stopped me. One of the questions they asked me, they didn't ask me many, but one of the few questions they asked me were, what are your thoughts on U.S. currency? And I thought that was odd for them to have me in a back room of a jail somewhere, in between talking with me about, you know, the guns and whatever else I had, about, you know, what my thoughts are on U.S. currency. And then I forget what else he asked about, you know, pretty much what you're talking about and where you're going with that. I think what got them onto me was not only that I called them, but they heard me talking with Valdez on that one stop that was seen a million times about Bitcoin and US currency and the dollar and all the rest of it, right? So they just, you know, they're like, they're the type of people who they got to get every piece of information they can get, whether it goes anywhere or not, right? So, you know, give us what you know or what you believe, because we want to know. And again, they're all compartmentalized. They may not even know where this financial system comes from or where it goes, right?
Exactly.
You're dealing with fallible men who come out of the locker rooms of middle America, and these are all like shallow, worldly, jock type guys, right? The college frat boy douchebags, as I've called others on these panels before, right? These are not, philosophical, logical, moral, ethical, co-creative, inspiring people. These are people who they went to DHS or wherever else to work a fucking job, right? That's what it really amounts to.
They don't question the authorities. They don't question the Federal Reserve. They asked me about why did I bring up about debit, and they said, well, that's what we live in. We live in a corporation. And they were trying to keep me there because they wanted to take my insurance. They wanted to keep sucking my insurance. But the doctor was like, I don't see him killing himself or harming other people. Like that's what and then there was a psychiatrist, a lady there, and she said the same thing, that I don't see him because he don't really have the resources to do that.
Yeah, I went through that when I was around 20. Part of the reason was because I was using street drugs. One of them was PCP. And I would smoke this shit, leave my body and move around, and I would have revelations and have what would you call it? Visions, I guess. And the public fool system and the people around me and my father and all them, they all found out pretty early on. They kind of knew what I was up to and who I was involved with, and it wasn't just a drug situation. But yeah, man, it's like, you live in a reality where it's so crazy that the people closest to you are supposed to protect you will actually be the ones to do you. Like, they will be the ones to unknowingly bring you to get help and get you potentially in a situation you can't get out of, right? And that did on some level change me forever, right? And I remember, I actually remember
back in 2010 it changed me. I think it was 2010.
Well, it will, man. I mean, again, and I'm not like playing a victim or whatever, or making excuses and justifications, because again, I was all fucked up. My life was all fucked up, and these people around me, they don't know themselves. They don't know what to do, But ultimately, their best efforts to help only makes things worse. Usually, these folks who are in the world and of it, right?
What I learned in Philly Mental Hospital is they want to keep people in there. They want to keep the insurance going, the money, it's debit. I call it debit, but they want to keep people locked up in prison. And this one psychiatrist always says everybody's a number. And I'm like, yeah, that's why we have a Social Security number. And then they were asking me all these weird questions like, well, who do you know? Who do you hang out with? Well, all my friends passed away. Like, I don't really hang out with YouTube. It was 2000 and I think it was 08, 09, 010. Just people I talked, like Anthony Antonello I watch once in a while. Other older YouTubers I would watch. Stuff like that, and they said, so no one, like, told you about this? I'm like, well, I always knew we had a Federal Reserve, and I always knew we had a corporation. And I always knew that there was something wrong here, and I knew there was corruption, but I didn't know it went from Epstein that far. But everything kept blowing up.
Yeah, I mean, sure. It's like if we step back from it and just, again, this isn't conspiracy theorism. It's just logic. If we step back from it and we just look at it from the place of who's most likely to spend their whole life working toward putting themselves in a position where they can have control over other people, right? Because, like, again, there's a fine line there. I almost just described me, except I'm working my whole life to try to get back control over me and everything that extends off of me. See the big, tiny, but big difference, right? This is why I laugh when DeCastro and these other people call me and tell me I need to run for politics. No, that's your egotistical, prideful, narcissistic, lazy ass. You don't even have your own rights and freedoms and property back, and you want to go and talk about everybody else's?
I agree. Yeah.
Or work with everybody else's? We got cart before the horse in every situation, right? So again, when we step back from it and we understand sub-psychology and criminology and sociology, the most motivated and ambitious people to get certain places in life are usually the most criminal. They have the most to gain from getting there, right? And the most to lose from not working toward that, because without that, they don't have anything else to do in this life and be. They're cowards they're cowards to the infinite degree, right? Because again, we'll go back to the Bronx Tale, and this is something I had to learn in life, and I'm still learning it in a way, or I'm still having to remember it. They say the guy tells Colondro, he points across the street, he says, "You see them guys in suits, them thugs and gangsters you look up to? They're a bunch of fucking lazy cowards. You know what the real tough guy is? The hard ass here is the guy who wakes up every fucking day and does his job like it's his first day doing it, and does it all day, every day for the rest of his fucking life. Try putting yourself to something like that, you punk lazy cowards." No, they would never think about it, right? So they got to go and put themselves and run for positions where they can push papers and talk about other people and make other things happen for other people, but they can't get back who and what they are and were supposed to be and where they're supposed to go with it, right? And this is the paradoxical irony in all of these situations that folks don't see, right? You're going to ask a punk coward who has no other abilities, talents, inspiration, and skills to get you back what the fuck you gave away for the same reasons. It's bound to fail.
Yeah, well, I was telling people to grow their own food, and if you have a well water or you have some kind of water supply, clean it out, have like pure water, clean water, and just take care of yourself. Because when I got released, they were watching me for a while, but then I moved, and then everything kind of slowed down a little bit, and then it was just like insane, because I was just sitting there going, like, these people have to know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, it's either they know what's going on and they just shut up because they get paid and they're not going to ruin the gravy train, they think, or you think they know what's going on because you have an ability to infer, and a lot of people in life don't, and they actually ignore that ability to, again, sub-psychologically never have to search to find what they're hoping they never see. See, this is all, a lot of this is sub-psychological. They have a governor on their consciousness that doesn't allow them to see the truth beyond a certain point. You can argue it might be a universal fail-safe mechanism because they spiritually can't handle it. You got a lot of weak-ass, cowardly motherfuckers here who just can't handle straight-up truth and what it is, and then what we're going to do about it. So, and again, this has been kind of shown in certain tests and simulations that there is a governor on people's consciousness that keeps some realities and truth from them so they can continue to process their weak-ass life and reality, right? Just like when they talk about somebody who gets raped and they have no memory of it. You could be there and know it and try to talk to them and they go, that didn't happen. I have no memory of that, because their fucking brain has a fail-safe to shut down that truth and that memory so they can continue to live their life and process and never have to face the reality of what they experience, right? Now, you take that and you apply that to what we just saw with 85% of the population continuing to vote and taking shots and all the rest of this crap. Makes perfect sense to me, because this is a cosmic rape. There's no other way to see it and put it, right? It's cognitive dissonance. Just like last night, I get invited to one of these groups. I go, you guys still don't understand what this is and who and what I am. Yeah. Oh, MAGA, Trump MAGA for QAnon, right? You know? I used to hang out with people that were Trump supporters and Joe Biden supporters and Obama supporters. And I'm like, dude, you guys got to wake up, man. Like, they're going to enslave you. They're going to take your vehicles. They're going to take your homes. They're going to take again, this is laughable. They already got it, sir. They already got it. Your child has a certificate. They don't realize the repercussions that come with that territory, where you're not going to own nothing and be happy, and you're going to be a total slave that you're not going to like it. I always used to say horrible enslavement, like, just imagine if your water gets shut off. Like, my water's shut off right now because they have a pipe leak. Imagine if your water gets shut off. Are you prepared for that? Imagine if your lights get shut off. You're individualizing it. The collectivists don't individualize. They see themselves as part of the hive mind. So to them, it's just going to be a few of you people who are going to get penalized. The rest of us will be cool, and we're going to get a bunch of benefits and privileges. See, you're underestimating the ignorance and the arrogance of the cattle, right? Just like the cattle right out there that my buddy owns and takes care of. It's not mine. I'm not into it. It's his thing, whatever. And again, there may come a day where I may have to eat some of them motherfuckers to exist. That'll be a whole other trip, right? The cattle out there will never know that they are enslaved, actually, logically. They may intuitively like want to leave the box sometimes, but the longer you're in the box, the more the box becomes a palace. You see, that's part of domestication. So you're giving too much credit to the domesticated slave.
It's deeply imprisoned already, doesn't own anything, and is absolutely happy. Why? Because Walmart's open 24 hours, dummy. What do you mean, guy on the phone? Because we get health care and insurance, because we got a great job, because we got a marriage license to our sweetie and 15 vaccines to keep us safe, and we get 5,462 channels from a satellite. We can watch the slavery in Korea if we wanted to. What's there to be upset about?
Walmart's not open 24 hours. When 2020 happened, that I call it a pandemic, because it was a pandemic in 2020. They called it the Corona 19. But Walmart shut down, and now they're only open from 6 in the morning until 11 at night, p.m. And people were just so pacified, like you said. They knew what was going on, but they wanted to just hold back and go, I don't want to lose my job. I have to get a vaccine shot. If I don't,
sure, I've had high-ranking special ops military folks who I even worked with. Like, I get access to people through this, what I do here, but I actually worked with a guy who, like, he could prove, and I could prove he was in a certain position. I had a long conversation with him one day where I had to play the game that I play with people here. We had to do verbal chess, 5D chess, like Donnie, you know. I eventually backed him into a checkmate position where he finally just admitted, and I go, why did you take me through an hour of this? This is what I don't like about you people. I know who and what you are. I know what it is. Don't waste my time, but that's why they do it. They're curious to see if who and what I am is true about what I say, and they're going to take me through every lie and every road till I walk them back to where they got to admit the truth, proving I knew who and what they were from the beginning, right? Better than either they knew themselves or they were willing to show and tell. That's cool. That's a fun parlor trick. He finally admits to me, Paul, yes, I was in the military and I'm this and it's all this and whatever, and I'm supposed to be this kind of person, but you know what? I know, and I'm not going to do anything about it. And I'm going to ignore it. And I said, why is that, pray tell? Because it makes my life easier. I said, thank you. That's all I needed. See, these people didn't understand. I always, in the back of my mind, God had me chosen to do whatever this is and other stuff. And I was just collecting experiences and information and running my intuitional sort of chess with them, because I always felt that I know. And that makes me arrogant, and that's cool, except I'm 8 out of 10 when it comes to presumptions. I'm like 8 out of 10. I'm always right when I presume on these people, especially after question and answer, after a certain point. So once I heard that, I said, good, we're done. Thank you. I actually respect you for that, because that's the answer everyone else is supposed to give, because that's the truth at their core. You're the one of the few who will give it. I have to respect you for that, even though it took me an hour to get it the fuck up out of you. I knew it all along. When you push these people, I've been doing this back with my father to middle school. When you push these people far enough and you back them in a corner with logic and facts, they finally admit it and spill it. Paul, I don't care. I know. That's what got us here. You're heartbroken.
Yeah, exactly. They don't care. They. And I don't want to take all your time. Your name is Paul, but nice to meet you. My name is William. But I don't want to take all your time because I got other things to do, because they have the water shut off here. But I just want to say, keep doing what you're doing. Keep speaking truth to power. And I'll be watching, man, and I'll be educating myself even more. Thank you for everything you do.
Thanks, sir.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, that's the root of it. That's the root of it. I guess not implore, but okay, I'll implore you folks. Like employ, it's military language. I'll deploy you. You know, I'll implore you to run the intuitional instinctual game, if you want to call it that I run. It's not a game, it's not even a tactic, it's a scientific method. Run the scientific method that I run on people here with the person near you, and intuitionally, instinctively push to get to their heart space consciousness and their state of beingness, because that's how you get to someone's state of beingness. You find out what's in their fucking heart. Just like the scripture will talk about, right? Goodness and greatness. God judges the being's heart with goodness and greatness or wickedness. And what do you think's at the core of a wicked motherfucker every time? You guessed it. I don't care. I don't care about what's true and what's right. I don't care about what I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to do. I don't care about how much genocide, slavery, and suffering's going on me, my family, and everybody around me. You know what? Paulie's the problem. You know how much wicked shit these motherfuckers around me said to me and did to me because they just didn't fucking care about what was true and what's right and why God brought me into this place to begin with, and they still haven't fucking gotten the hint. They're still trying to figure out how they can get me to do what they want them to do with the broadcast and grift and lie and everything else, and they still haven't figured out the real fucking program and plan and process. It's amazing to me. It's not only amazing to me what God could reveal me to know, but what creation could allow these people to not know and see. Fucking beyond tragically, comedically fascinating and entertaining. 37-year simulation from beginning to end, full of holistic holographic reflectivity, replete with archetypal themes and revelation, and they still don't fucking get it, or they don't want to get it, because you know why? Subpsychologically, another reason, it's going to reveal truly who and what they are and have always been and what they're not doing and being, and they're cowards at the heart, and they don't want to sit there on their fucking potential deathbed and admit to themselves they failed at life. They've wasted their whole fucking life. And that's okay, because again, it's an infinite ride. You could argue consciousness and awareness will just transfer from one body to another. So you die, but you never really die, because it's paradoxical here. That's the kingdom of heaven they talk about in scripture, eternal life. There it is again. See, when we understand science and physics and the metaphysics and quantum physics, we can merge science and religion if we're not scientists or involved in scientism, where it becomes an indoctrinated religion again, and we close ourselves off from awareness because we're indoctrinated, and that's what happens with the universal intelligence. When you choose to believe shit and accept shit and not look and admit you don't know so you can finally see, the universe closes you off to certain levels of awareness. And then you know what happens? You go around thinking you know something while you're an absolute insane retard, and you call people insane and retarded who actually know something. Imagine that. Yeah, every single one of them, when I put them through the fucking ringer and I run them ragged and I get them back to square one, all come out right from the heart and admit, Paul, shut up, go away. Just like they did to Jesus. It's all the same dynamic. Paul, shut up and go away with the truth and the light. We don't care. We know. And that's why you're about to hang that motherfucker on a cross and not give a fuck about it. We know. We know. That's what got us here. That's how you're going to go to your shitty fucking job again tomorrow while they traffic women and children and maybe even eat them, according to them files that are all a hoax. Yeah, we know you don't give a fuck. We know you don't care. We know you're such a punk coward. You're not going to do anything different about it. And you're not even going to speak above a whisper if you talk about it at all, because you're worried about what the cowards around you are going to think and say and what the fuck they're going to do to you. And that's why this whole civilization is slated for failure and slavery and genocide. It's not a wonder to me and your masters. They're right about everything they say. You are non-essential. You are a useless fucking eater. Everything they said and shown and did at COVID was proof of everything I'm talking, whether I like it or not. And guess what? Like Gorilla Gem said yesterday, the whole audience and everybody loved Paulie Boy till he held the fucking mirror up and told everybody there was something that everybody's got to do, right? Yeah, then a lot of folks checked out. Paulie was viral and he was lovable and likable till he held the mirror up to the audience instead of try to lie and grift on him like everywhere else. Till he held the fucking mirror up and remind everybody that I ain't special here and that we all got something we need to do. Oh, that's when a lot of people started disliking Paulie Boy for some weird reason. He became an asshole. He became an enemy. That's your heart again. There it is. There's the non-caring, broken heart wickedness that you masquerade as you're so civilized and nice, kind, and polite. No, you got the drift is what it was. That I'm crazy and you're a punk coward, so you better go that way. You better go back to the fake heroes and leaders and idols you worship who want to sell you fake ass products and services and lie and grift on you and tell you it's okay, we got it all, when you haven't done shit yet to secure your life and your future and everything that extends off of you. Laughable. And they don't understand. I could have ran the ball and played it just like they do, as good, if not better. That's not my role and my job here. I'd rather 300 enslaved than 3 million of Xerxes inauthentic corporate males and cowards. We got to get back. We got to get back. We need I'm a little bit too disorderly here today. As usual. It's not here today. It's as usual. I'm not polite and nice and kind. I'm not sophisticated and civilized enough. That's why the masses don't want to watch me and listen to me. So we got to get back to something a little bit more receptive, something that can be received a little bit better.
Is now $100,000 per month to be paid to President Donald Trump. Could there be any clearer sign of corruption? The American people see right through this bill. They see it for what it is. But that's not the only reason. If the House Republicans really did want this measure to become law, they wouldn't have tucked the so-called SAVE Act into it. Now, let me remind you, we've been debating the SAVE Act here off and on for, about 4 months now? This is the same SAVE Act that in practice, Mr. President, would make it harder for eligible voters to register to vote, to stay registered to vote, to actually cast their ballot by imposing these standards across all 50 states. It would ban student IDs, certain tribal IDs, other forms of government ID that in some states that do have their own voter ID law, people count on to be able to participate in our elections. The SAVE Act would also devastate mail and absentee voting across the country by requiring photocopies of your ID to be included along with your mail ballot, something that the Republican Lieutenant Governor of Utah.
And this is all just more banking scams. You guys are so stupid and low level, you don't even get what this push is for. And by the way, banking is always synonymous, back to the scripture as well, with the Luciferian shaitan and deception. Because all of this banking system is a Ponzi scheme deception. Come to kill, steal, and destroy. All your wars are for the bankers. All your politicians are running game on you for the banking system. They just want to get all the illegals on papers. They don't care if they're here and who they are or what they do. They just want to get them in contract so they can get another X amount of money out of that fucking Central Reserve. Because for every birth certificate and every slave with a license and registration and all the paperwork, they get to open another account and they get to draw funds from that account. And then they get to use that for the body politic behind the scenes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We didn't know that. Okay, Paulie boy. Yeah. You don't know. Okay. Go search it up. Go take your social security number, put it into the QSIP directory, and see how many accounts they opened in your fucking name with your accounts and your numbers. That's why your founders, not your founders, that's why the folks in the early 1900s, when they gave you your social security number and account, told you not to use it as ID. It says it right on the card. What did you dumb slaves go and do? You went to the DMV because you thought it was government, which is actually a corporation. They took the number and they went and sold it to other corporations to open accounts. And that's what the corporatism and the fascism is. Fuck slaves. But you don't need to know that. You don't care because Walmart's open. And they give free vaccines. No, they give free vaccines because you prepaid for them already, dunce, with your social security account number. And you don't even know it. Everything they give you is based off of signing as a representative, authorized representative, like a credit card, either signing a bill or an act for you to be stuck with the bill by the end of it, or they use your account numbers that you give them and give them access to tap your estate and your credit. Because after 1913 Federal Reserve Act, there's been no money in circulation. There's only debt notes. And the way that those are drawn up and generated is through liabilities and sureties with the populace, with the product, with the service. It's not about illegals and drugs and all the rest of this, you fucking morons. It's they're $40 trillion in debt and they're insolvent. With the national GDP, it would take them over 80 years to pay it all back. It's never going to happen because they're going to torch the thing in Great Reset it coming into 2030 if everything that it looks like is going to take place. You don't need to know any of that. You don't care. That's why they're pushing crypto so hard right now over the last year and a half. And you guys all suck dick for that too with Donnie. It's not going to be the crypto market wild, wild west that it could be where everybody's gambling and a lot of people are getting rich. No, because what are they doing right now? we never could have seen this coming. I did, and I called it out 5 fucking years ago. They're banning all the coins and taking them off the market. Like everything else, bring your government, which is a corporation, into the private sector or into commerce, and they're going to create a fucking monopoly and convince you it's to your benefit. Dumbass. That's why I laughed when one of my friends told me, Bitcoin, you don't understand the technology, Paulie boy. I said, you don't understand mind control. Fuck the technology. The technology is only as good as the people using it. If the majority are slaved out in the mind and heart, the tool's going to go with it. And sure enough, 8 years later, he had to fucking admit in a depressed state that I was right again. And it's not about me being right again, but I'd rather be right than president, because that means I know what the fuck I'm talking about and I can see reality for what it is, not what I want it to be and don't want it to be. Just like I was sitting over in my hole while they were demonetizing me and shadow banning, yelling about how they're going to take us into economic warfare because you all gave your property and rights away. You have a chance to take it back now and change how this all goes. But at some point, you're not going to be able to do as much. You're not going to have the leverage because they're going to do world war and economic collapse because they go hand in hand, and they're going to do biologicals on the back of it. Along with energy crises, with the electricity and the water and all the rest of it, and potentially food shortages. That's the fucking point. And it has to happen. It's all right on time, and it makes perfect sense, because if I'm awaking over the last 2 decades or more, if I've been awake since 12 years old with an intuition that knew better, then that means God has a plan. And if God has a plan, then that means the devil has a fucking plan. That makes perfect sense. And we just got to figure out, while that plan is being executed, who and what we're going to go with. That makes sense. That's all scripturally sound, by the way. So then we got to double down correlation. I'm not citing scripture for where I get this. I'm using my sight to look and understand and put the pieces together. And then I look back and, oh, it's all right there 2,000 years ago. We got correlation, not citation. That's great. I can also take you over to 2 or 3 other holy books and we can find correlation. That's great. Citation in the book, not great. Correlation from your own sight and vision God gave you, great fucking stuff. Now we got proof of an accurate mapping and dynamic. The state is never going to be the answer to the problem you created. And the problem you created was going to the state to get your rights, freedom, principles, spiritual faith, and let it be your God. That's Mammon, Momech, Baal, and Babylonianism. That's been the problem since day one. It's what the prophet came here to reveal and speak and walk against. Give Caesar what is Caesar's. It doesn't mean pay tax, you weak-ass slaves. It means render to them what is theirs, what they create, because a maxim in law is he who creates controls. That makes sense. Stop using their currency. Stop using their systems. Stop voting for them. Stop giving them your power to let them decide what you're going to do and not do because they have policy and code in their corporation. Let it all fucking go. Let it burn. No, you can't do that because you're born in a fucking open air prison where you don't see the bars and you've been indoctrinated since day one and you think United States is part of who and what you are. You think voting is actually a right that you want to engage in. They pimped on you with that one too. Makes absolutely no sense. Why would individually free, brave, great, co-creative people ever need to vote? They would only ever need to vote if they were cowardly, disconnected, weak-ass, unproductive, incapable, incompetent, that's the word, incompetent, it's spelled incompetent, motherfuckers. And guess what? If that's who and what you are and what you become as Americans, voting ain't going to help you and save you. You're just going to put more of you up there to decide what all of you are going to do and be. So this is so difficult, huh? This is so hard. So, so simple and easy to get it logically when you look at it and speak it like that. Right. But they're not going to, because the hardest part is now you got to do it and be it. And you got to let go of all the garbage that doesn't matter. that you thought was you in your whole fucking life and existence. How pathetic and embarrassing is that? See, I'm that guy. I'd rather take the scary chance of jumping out into a hole that I don't know where it goes for the thrill of it, if nothing else, than continuing to believe in and repeat and reflect nonsense that makes me look like a retarded sucker. I guess that's some level of pride and ego, but I'm guessing that's the X amount much that you need to really kind of get into reality and care about it. You just don't want to be a duped out, gamed out, pimped out sucker slave all your life. That's really the prerequisite to all this. I guess a lot of you don't have that impulse, and you just you love it. Majority of the women I meet, if I can date them at all because they're not vaccinated to the hilt, that cuts about 85% of folks out of my dating life. Cage is in the back now. He'll know that most of the folks who match with me are obese black transsexuals. Hey, that's my market, whatever. Haven't explored that yet, but time will tell. Yeah, you any man out there ever explored the dating pool? And again, we can go to the other side too and talk about the men. Most of the time we usually do here, right? This isn't Paulie's got mommy issue central. And if it is, we can still try to be fair and equitable. But yeah, the majority of women you meet, I don't care who and what they are and what they think they are. They want to be lied to. They want to be bullshitted. They'll pretty much directly admit it. Oh yeah, Paulie boy, that little piece of truth there. I get that it's true, and I've seen enough men to know that it is true. But let's not talk about that and focus on that. Let's try to even distance ourselves from that. Let's try to act like that doesn't even exist. Why? For your ego, to make you feel safe and comfortable. We're going to deny reality and cut off an aspect of who and what I am the way God made me. Yeah, there's the Babylonianism again. And what's interesting and fascinating about this is sometimes it seems the most godliest thing to do is get like an animal. Imagine how paradoxical that is. The one thing that the humans want to run from and deny is that they're part animal. And within that understanding and that modality might actually be some level of inspiration and answer to the problems we face, is integrating and recognizing we have an angelic spirit with an animal beingness here. Seems a lot of folks have like ignored or tried to deny that animalistic beingness, and I'm guessing that's how they got so deeply domesticated. They're not wild and free anymore. Just kind of oozes out of them like that kid who called up here yesterday. He's a young man. He sounds like somebody's grandmother. It's embarrassing. But how you gonna keep safe, Holly boy? You think a wild animal who's free in the spirit, who's got everything that it needs and is surrounded by other beings who reflect it and replicate it and supernatural beingness, give a fuck about sitting around worrying about how they're going to be free? Watch them. Just shut up and sit back and watch how they create safety for themselves and each other. You don't know anything about that. You don't know anything about true value, power, and inspiration being your safety net. Because power is a dirty word. Power is a dirty word when your whole life is being brought up by a bunch of inauthentic corporate beta males and females in suits who do therapy on you all day, every day, and tell you you're antisocial if you don't want to be a collectivist. This is actually a thing. I'm not lying. Cage, if you type to me and interfere with my rap and words on the screen, I'm going to ban you and throw you the fuck out of here. You're a thorn in my side. What makes you think in this moment what I'm saying and doing requires your presence or anyone's presence and an add-on? Don't take it personal. I'm asking you, what in your mind and heart and brain do you perceive in this moment requires you or anyone else up here to do what I'm doing, whether you like what I'm doing right now or not? I didn't ask that. What gives you that idea, Cage? Can you let me know so we can dispel it?
When you put a link publicly.
I put a link publicly? Okay, I'll bite. Cage, questions, comments, concerns, disagreements. Where did I get it wrong? What do you have to add?
I'm not saying you're wrong whatsoever.
Right. Okay, so then what are we doing?
Hopefully building.
Building on what? For what?
From the concrete, from the foundation.
Was I not building good enough right there?
No, you are. I'm not saying I'm not disparaging you. Yeah, you're doing fine. I could just hang on and maybe add something.
Right. So we haven't, in the past, we haven't had a good 4 or 5 years of the whole hang out and add on and see how that goes. We didn't, usually that doesn't go great.
Not publicly, but we can do it right now. Today,
Publicly, right, publicly, because I've explained to you many times that who I am privately and how I interact, and this is a good thing. It doesn't make me fake. This is my broadcast. I bring a different presentment and energy here. This is like my job. Remember, I've explained that to you? That this is like my job. So when you talk to me off the clock, in quotes, everything's in quotes. When you talk to me off the clock, I may have a different energy and I may be in a different space. When I'm here, I'm working. We can build, though.
We can build right now.
We can build. Okay, so you still, it doesn't matter how nice and indirect or direct I can be. This is, you're proving my point for me right now. One of the points that I regularly make here, you're proving it for me. It doesn't matter what I say to people directly or indirectly, what I show, what it is. They're going to make it what they want it to be. They're always going to support what they want it to be rather than what it is. What it is you just admitted I'm good to go. I'm building. We don't need any add-ons to it, but you're going to try to do it anyway. So, okay, let's entertain your fixation and fetish because you obviously need and want something here. I don't want to need it, but you need it and want it. So I'll entertain it now because obviously what you need and want is more important than what I need and want here.
I'm here to support, brother. I seen you were on there. I figured
your support and other support doesn't require people hanging out on panel and cutting me off and interjecting. I can shut up
if you want.
I don't know why you do this to us. I really don't. I don't understand what you get out of this, why you like this, and why you do this to us. Why you put me in this position and then
who's us? Who's us? You yourself and I? Who's us?
I'm saying I've told you many times. I do a broadcast. It doesn't require your presence. If you have something you want to come in with here and there, bring it in and then go. I don't do the hangout thing here. It doesn't work. I don't like it. It doesn't flow with me in my life and what I'm doing. There's plenty of other places, including your place, where you do that. I don't. Am I not free to choose my format and stylings?
Of course you are.
So can we adhere to that then? Respectably, like without it being a problem, a competition, a power game. Just, I have wishes and boundaries. It makes sense for all of us. You even just admitted to it indirectly. Can we just adhere to that?
I could be quiet and maybe add in and have a good conversation.
Okay, I'll take you up on it because now after 5 years, I have to now throw my hands up and say, it is a new day. Maybe there's something new to come out of this. We'll do the life coaching game, right? We'll play the, this is called the life coaching game for those of you who know. I'll be open to it, that it's not going to go the same way that it always goes traditionally, that somehow, some way through osmosis, it's all going to magically change here today, right now. So do you have anything thus far to add? Questions, comments, concerns, any ideas? Once again, by the way, I have no idea what the fuck I was talking about, and I'm completely out of alignment in where I was in my energy.
Oh, yeah, I'd rather get back on to what you're talking about and maybe add something to the conversation. Right.
I didn't ask for a conversation. That's the thing. I don't know.
Add to whatever we're
I don't know how much more clear I could be. The last guy who came here, he actually was in a conversation with me. They said down there it went pretty well. And did you notice what he did? He got the hint. He saw me rapping and going. He also realized his technology was ass. So every third word we couldn't hear. So after a certain couple seconds, I didn't even have to tell him. He said, you know what? I got stuff to do and I'm going to let you do your thing. Bye. Do you see the difference?
Yeah, I do. You should go look at my last little video I posted up, okay? Like, we have real people out there on the road.
So this is another competition, as I suspect.
It's not a competition, brother.
We should go look at your videos because you have real people on the road. How does that apply to me and what I'm doing here?
Because we're here. We're here right now we're talking. Are we not having an exchange of words?
This is what you do regularly, though. You're going to deny that I don't know you and what you do, try to prove yourself in some way. I don't need you to prove yourself here. I don't
need you to even think about that. It doesn't matter.
This is absolutely fascinatingly amazing to me, the codependency and the incredulousness, the unwillingness to believe or accept what someone tries to tell you as far as who and what they are and what they wish to do. It is so passive aggressive. It is not loving. It's not caring. It's not friendly. It's not respectable. It's passive aggressive. And it serves no other purpose other than to get me off of what I'm doing and out of my energy and onto you and embroiled with you. It is enmeshment. Thank you. He left. So many of these folks have no idea about their own psychology and their dysfunction, their codependency and enmeshment, where other people in their life can't live their own life without them intruding onto it. And there's no way. He didn't leave. His technology dropped him out and he's back again.
Yeah, my bad. My mic fucked.
What do you mean, my bad? I was glad when you left. It doesn't mean I don't love you. I have to explain this. I have to explain this to everyone in my life, my father, the uncles, the women, everyone in my life. I have to explain this to, and they still don't get it. My bad. He's apologizing for leaving when I was glad. I thought he finally got the fucking message. Absolutely amazing. And now he's gone again. He's back again.
Don't shoot the messenger, buddy boy.
I didn't ask for a messenger. I'm the messenger here. This is the point. It's you're admitting now indirectly this is a some kind of sub-psychological competition and game with you. You're not the messenger here. You're intruding, you're interfering, you're making it awkward and cringy like always.
Don't shoot yourself, man. Don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah. That way, because I gotta finish
all zebra time.
Do we get a billboard yet?
Incorporated.
Yeah, I was just curious about the billboard. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Paul and Flavia has... Well, I don't know. I was going to ask Paul, but he turned on circus music. Snappy Snaps will be uploading a video about real whistleblowers, real journalists, and real fishers of men. I came to check on a billboard scam. Mr. Paul and Slave, has a billboard scam gone more or what? Have you Unsplavians have a billboard on the street? I don't know. Have you seen a billboard?
Dance monkey.
He's a gorilla, not a monkey.
Okay, dance gorilla. Hey, one time
I want to ask him about. I wanted to ask him some questions, but he ran away. Turned on.
One time I went to the zoo and they smashed that shit like crazy.
He's kind of doing what Jack does.
Fucking Paulie Talcott.
I see that he still.
Blah, 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 you can't go on the road.
Paul, if you want a trifold, I'll get Paul a
trifold. Need some slave news, brother.
He's my guru. I wanted to ask him a question about billboard.
He's retarded. Bitch, I'll put a billboard right now. Up right now. I know people that own the billboard company.
Wait. Like a billboard that's like a dispensary billboard or a medical lawyer billboard, because we're talking about Unsplavian billboards. There's a lot of culted up ones here. How much have you collected on your billboard fund?
All right, that was our 5-minute interlude, and that was part of our SPLS program where every so often we give 1 or 2 mentally retarded children an opportunity to host or co-host a broadcast. So, yeah, let's give a round of applause for that. Let's give a U.S. slave for that. Yeah, U.S. slave, U.S. slave. That feels good. We're making dreams come true here. Okay, so you're both banned. Don't ask me to unban you. That's the reason why you're banned. It doesn't matter how long we wait, how much time passes by. You can't help yourselves. You're codependent and enmeshed. You're stalkers of mine. And there is no interacting with you or being nice to you or carrying on any kind of long-term relationship because you can't relate to a human fucking being. You know? So that's that. And it's going to stay like that because I'm not going to give up my life and my broadcast for you. And I'm not even going to make a statement about what your life is and where it's going. I'm just going to leave it at that, right? I'm not even going to make any judgments or anything like that. I'm not giving up my life and what I want to do and be and create for you because I see who you are, how you come across and what you create. And quite frankly, I'm not interested in being that or being a part of that. So, but thanks for your love. Thanks for your care. Thanks for showing up for I don't know who or what, by the way. But let's get back. We got to get back. We need, after that, we definitely need some inauthentic corporate males in suits to tell us what to do and how to live.
Has pointed out would violate.
By the way, what you just saw right there is the reason why this world needs inauthentic corporate beta males to run everybody's life, because that's their version of self-governance, by the way, for 5 years straight. Longer than that. They're going on a 30-something year run. Okay. So it's no wonder to me why externally, based on what I see inside of these folks, and then what I know is within me as well, if I let it be, that's why I see what I see. Cage, it doesn't matter how many accounts that you bring in. I'm banning all of them. We're done. We're over. You still can't get the point and get a hint. See? More passive aggressive. Even when I say I'm done, I want to move on. He's not going to let me, right? This is what they all do. Every aspect of your life, they do it with me. They're not going to let you be what you're meant to be. They're not going to let you move on from them. And then secretly, while they say they love you and care about you, they try to fuck you. They try to jab the shiv in your back and in your side, right? Every chance they get, right? Because they're fucking loser, failure haters with no purpose, meaning, and value system in their life. There, I said it. I wasn't gonna, but you got it out of me. And that's most people. Let's be clear. They don't want to see you do good, and they definitely don't want to see you do better than them. That's a you fucking problem. Like it or lump it. That means shove it up your ass. A whole culture and society of weak, cowardly, do-nothing, hating-ass motherfuckers. You don't have to wonder why things have gone the way they've gone.
Their state's constitution, the constitution that requires an opportunity for a secret ballot. The same requirement for secret ballot that states across the country also share. This is the same element, by the way, that the Ohio legislature passed in the form of a state legislation, a similar male voter ID requirement that the Republican governor of Ohio vetoed because it would, quote, significantly burden those who choose to vote by mail. But of course, that is this bill's intent. For all the talk about stock trading, and there's a way to address that, I'll get to that in a minute. The true goal here is to somehow pass the SAVE Act, which, by the way, not only are you not going to get unanimous consent.
Keith Williams in the chat right now. It's amazing. Like when you watch this stuff for long enough, energetically, how they all come in at one point. It's some kind of cosmic movement. A portal opens and all the loser, failuredom, codependent enmeshment just pours in all at once. Keith, don't bother checking the live chat to see if you're blocked or not. You just showed yourself, and I'm going to help you out there because I know what's coming next. The same energy that just spilled out of those two. I'm going to cut you right off at the pass. Bye, Keith. Incredible. You do this life and this broadcasting long enough, and you start to see the fucking patterns and the behaviors of the universe and how it works. Literally, it's like a portal opens, and you can throw one out, the next one comes. You throw one out, the next one comes. We know, we got it. And now they want to call my phone. Cage is going to spam my phone line like a desperate little child who wants daddy to come home. Beyond embarrassing. Aren't you guys embarrassed?
Buddy, there's no getting rid of me.
Aren't you embarrassed?
Shut up, pussy.
I'm not the pussy here. I just went on with my day, and I'm doing what I always do, and you can't help but to keep yourself out of my bit. That's you. You're the bitch. One in chat if Cage is the bitch in this situation.
No, you're the bitch.
It's not me. I'm here doing what I do, and you can't get off my dick. You're spamming my cell phone now like some kind of stalker ex-girlfriend who won't leave me be and let me alone. Bizarre.
I'm not doing anything like that whatsoever. I'm just here.
Well, then it's the demons and the energy that comes with you. That's the point. Keith Williams shows up, Snafu shows up, you show up, and unknown caller starts spamming my phone line. Is it always a coincidence?
Buddy, I'll ruin your phone to the point where you'll have a million calls.
Just do whatever you gotta do. Leave me alone.
I will.
I'll see you later. I'll see you later. Why can't I nicely ask you to not be here and be part of my broadcast? Why is that not an option?
Right, don't accuse me of something I'm not doing, though. I haven't done that. If I did,
you wouldn't have got accused if you did what I asked you. Why will you not do what I asked you in my area? Why?
Because you don't run this shit, buddy.
So you're going to run my broadcast. That's all this is about.
No, I'm not.
You just admitted that's the whole purpose of why you're here.
You don't own it either, though.
Wait, so it's my broadcast, but I don't run it. Who does then? Who runs my broadcast? Who runs it?
Bending spoons from Milan, Italy.
Go fuck yourself. You're banned again. Go fuck yourself. Don't come back here. You're an asshole. And if you were in real life with me, you get what for, if you know what I'm saying. You come on my property and tell me you're going to own it and run it, you get what for. The only way you're doing this is because we're on the internet. You're the punk-ass bitch coward, and we all know it, and you act like a hoe, too. The fuck off my phone line. Stop texting me when I'm broadcasting. Get off my dick and let me do what the fuck I'm doing.
Today, the Republican caucus in the Senate isn't even unified around it. It's come up for votes, procedural and otherwise, and keeps falling short. So why are we here? I believe if the proponents of the stock trading measure were sincere about wanting to ban stock trading by members of Congress, then they sit down with Democrats and negotiate, or better yet, let's take up and pass the measure that would achieve just that came out of the Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee about a year ago, a bipartisan measure by Senators Ossoff, Merkley, Peters, Cortez Masto, Hawley, and Moreno. So why don't we try to do that? Mr. President, I ask that the senator modify her request to instead proceed to the immediate consideration of calendar item 294 as 1498, that the committee reported substitute amendment be agreed to, that the bill be considered read a third time and passed, and that the motions to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table.
Is there an objection to the modification? Chair Kness, Senator from Ohio.
There's an expression that says, don't let facts get in the way of a good story. We just heard it was a good story. Let's unfortunately dissect the facts that were completely inaccurate. I'm on the Homeland Security Committee. My colleague from California is not.
To be clear, you can call all you want. I have the alert off. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't interfere with the broadcast. And I'm telling you right now, I will not answer any calls from unknown numbers. So don't waste your time.
That was not the bill that we sponsored. The bill that we sponsored was something called the Pelosi Act. You're a longtime member of Congress from California who perfected the grift of insider trading, who came to Congress, I think when I was born, when you were born, and well before our colleague from California Florida was born, and it somehow managed to be worth $300+ million. That's why I thought it would be an honor of her that we would introduce the Pelosi Act, the ability to just stop insider trading. And let me just also be clear about where we stand on this bill. This was a massively bipartisan bill that came out of the House. Every Republican voted for it, and 13 Democrats, which never vote unless every Democrat is voting together, voted for this bill. And if not for the objection that you just heard, if not for the objection from my colleague from California, tomorrow, the President of the United States would have signed this bill into law. And what would it have meant? What would the President tomorrow have signed had this objection not been heard? No longer could members of Congress or their spouses or their adult children buy stocks with inside information. They would not be able to sell stocks without a...
Yeah, Rodney in chat says, get Brandon to discharge that. Well, that's the thing. The people, Brandon Joe Williams and the people around him don't care about rights and freedom. They care about doing fraud and grifting, just like this government does. That's why they're no better than them. And that's exactly why Brandon Joe Williams is pushed in the algorithm. And that's exactly why all the slaves lap his garbage up, because they got the same wicked heart that he does. Like meets like. They don't give a fuck about actual property acquisition and acquiring and being responsible and accountable and being good, honorable, faithful people and godly people. No. He and his people are Scientologists or some other kind of ist. Every one of these people, by the way, when you and this is what I find fascinating. I was the biggest atheist agnostic out there at one point, on drugs in the street. And I didn't know, but I'm like, God is all bullshit. That's all nonsense. It's ridiculous. After my experiences with religion, it's fascinating how far I've come 180 on the other side over the past, 15 years, 10, 12, 15 years. And then reflect on the fact that all these people around me who claim to be legal, lawful gurus and auditors and all the rest of this shit, the one thing they all have in common is they don't believe in God. They don't believe in any law and order outside of what they can perceive, which is like that much of this reality, right? It's like goose egg of this much reality. So it makes sense. This is spiritually, scripturally, psychologically, the Babylonianism. So now someone is texting. I'm enjoying your live, but I would love to participate in the chat. I don't know what does that mean? So again, another person who, in the middle of me doing my broadcast, who, by the way, was banned and blocked because they did 5 or 10 times what I asked them not to fucking do, and they did it anyway. They're going to message me in the middle of the broadcast and ask me, indirectly manipulate that I'm supposed to take my time out now and go unblock and unban them from chat after they did. Maybe you shouldn't have did what I asked you not to do over and over again. Did you think of that? Did you consider that? No. Well, now you will. And you're going to do it double time because I'm telling you I'm not unbanning you and I'm blocking you. Now I'm keeping you there even more because you just did it again. You had all day and all night to message me and tell me anything about it. If that was the case, I may not have answered. Now you're going to do it when I'm on here because I'm going to stop what I'm doing for you, right? Get fucked. That's the reality of it. See? Another person who's pretending like they love me and care about me, who just wants to fuck me in more ways than one. Not interested. What you want and what you like and all the rest of it. After you go past the line of doing what I ask you not to do, that I find dishonorable and disrespectful to me. See how that works? I know all of you have no value and care for yourself and your life. And everyone gets access to me all the time implicitly. I don't care. I will set boundaries and wishes for myself. You know why? Because if you don't in this slave hole, they'll suck you dry from top to bottom and ruin your whole fucking life if you let them. Not interested what you like and want, especially when I'm doing what I'm doing here. Amazing to me how few people could just fucking read themselves in the room and play their position appropriately. Wonder why we're in the position we're in. You couldn't sit there and it's like, no, you did it on purpose. There's always a reason why people do what they do. And it's always on purpose, even if it's sub-psychologically. You actually sat there and thought or didn't think and felt like it was going to be a good idea to text me to unban you in the middle of my broadcast when the reason you got banned is because you did what I asked you not to do over and over again. You still think, again, proof of who you are. You still think what you want and like matters more than what I like and want and what I'm doing. It doesn't. And these are the same people who, if long enough you don't let them suck you dry and give them everything they want, they'll say you're the narcissist. Fuck off. Go sit with your life coach, loser. Constant narcissistic, covert narcissistic, codependent enmeshment. Tired of it. Grew up with it, sick of it. Told everyone closest to me who's supposed to love me the most to get fucked. Don't talk to them and don't want to deal with them. But you're going to replace them in my life, right? Not likely. Let it go. Let it go. I got codependent slaves all on my nuts. Let it go. Let it go. I learned that from the white women in the forest who watch cartoons of white people figure skating. I don't know what it is. What is it again? Snowy? Snowball? Frozen. That's it. Frozen. Yeah. Every so often, I just gave you a window into what happens with me backstage. You think that I actually yell and scream and stomp backstage? I don't. I do that here for effect. Backstage, I cry. I smoke copious amounts of cannabis. I cough, cry, and I sing while I'm sobbing. Let it go. Let it go. Oh, also, Aaron's backstage. I also holler out, life is good. Life is good. Good things are always happening. I learned that from him. That's what I do to cope. That's what I do to feel better. It never works. I just keep doing it because he keeps doing it. He says it's going to work. He tells me privately as well in messages. Says just keep yelling out. Life is good. I feel good. Good things are happening. And it's going to it's happening. He says as I'm saying it, it's going to happen. I said, well, then I'm lying, aren't I? Because the phrase is good things are always happening. See, I got you. Because he says, no, just keep saying it and the things will happen. I go, that means when I'm saying it, they're not happening. Now I'm lying to myself, Aaron. Don't you get it? So I had to alter the phrase to be integral, to stay true to me. Life is good. I'm going to feel good. Good things are going to happen to me any second. And then I feel a bit better. Thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, the thoughts are that if you say it, you're speaking it into existence. So every time you say it, you're creating a spot for you to feel like that in the future, even if it doesn't seem to be right now. But if you say it long enough right now, you'll come to the conclusion that life is good because you'll find all kinds of reasons. Your mind will bring that up for you. So
now, what do I do when these people keep showing up in my life instead of the good stuff, the good things happening and feeling?
I'll say this. When you're emotionally charged, you're drawing in more of whatever emotion that you have for a future endeavor. So if you can not be emotionally charged, which I think you can, then you eventually those guys will fall off or those situations will fall away.
Look at this person in chat on an alternate account, how pathetic they are. They still don't get it, even on the alternate account. I banned everyone who loved me. I don't care if you love me. You're not love-able as far as I'm concerned. That may make me unlove-able as far as you're concerned. The difference is I go off with my life. I go on with my life. I go on with my day. I can't get rid of some of you. Just saying you love me is not an excuse when I ask you to stop and leave me alone and you don't. That's not love. That's codependency. That's lack of boundaries and care. That's dysfunctional. See? And you guys always want to default to that I have to love you and accept your love. I don't. I can love someone and you can even love me and us not interact with each other regularly. And if that's not an option for me based on what you're going to do, that's not love. That's codependency and stalking. Don't you get that? They also don't get that every person who hurt me the most and betrayed me the most was the one who was supposed to love me the most. So I don't care how much you think and feel you love me. Show me. Oops, you failed test number 1. You did the opposite of what I asked. Aren't you so lovable? What do I owe you? My enemies, if I have them, because I don't have enemies internally, but I probably have them externally, don't do to me what the people who love me do to me. Fuck you. Most of the people who don't like me and hate me, leave me the fuck alone. It's only the people who love me who try to remake me into their own image and project onto me and manipulate me and be passive aggressive because I let them around me. You love me. You don't even know what the fuck love is. Guarantee if you needed you to give your life for something, you wouldn't be there for it. You don't know what love is. You don't know what true care is. You don't know what sacrifice is, which is a cornerstone of true care and true love. You have no idea what it is. You do know what codependency, bondage, vice, and attachment and addiction is. That's fucking clear. Great. So do I. And I can discern the difference now. At least to some extent. Your thoughts on any of that, Aaron? We got to move along. And by the way, you're gone in chat. It doesn't matter how many alternate accounts you make. You're still the same type of person saying the same types of things. So you're going to get the same type of response from me. See how that works? See, it's also proof you don't love yourself, because if you loved yourself, you'd have enough self-respect and dignity to fuck off when someone asked you to. Someone who can't love themselves can't love somebody else, and somebody who loved themselves doesn't stick around where they're not wanted. Imagine that idea. Well, you wouldn't know that because you sit around in United States Corporation all day, every day, sucking dick and begging for privileges by a bunch of people who are literally killing you and raping you. So that's just how you live all day, every day of your normal life, right? It's just another day for you, not for this one. That's what you need to understand. Go ahead, Aaron, if you got thoughts, if you want to just yell life is good.
Well, life is good.
I
feel good. Good things are always happening to me.
Court updates. There we go. This person, see, I forgot. No, don't do that. We're in court right now. I'm the loudmouth, obnoxious, obese judge unslaving. You're just going to sit there this whole time and let me go off on these idiots when you have a case to address?
It's your show.
You are here to court, Aaron. Is it my show? Is this how you're going to do courting when you go to court? Oh, administrator who's third party impartial, who's beneath me because he's my servant. It's your court. It's your show. No, you're the sovereign man. You show up. You got rights. You got an issue you want to address with me and the people. And you're actually up to something and doing something important, potentially. So we need to hear that matter. We need to go to that, right? Fuck me talking about these retard cowards in my life who don't do shit. They don't deserve any of our time, energy, and attention here. But you do, sir. So please, that's good. Thank you, person in chat, keeping us all focused. We have better things that we need to focus on anyway. Not that we haven't all looped it and heard it before, but I mean, such is life, right? And ultimately, a lot of this, I think, is energetics and repetition, right? Practice makes perfect in order to just kind of take the next step and go, okay, I could do it. And then, keep going, right? Which is the walk for all of us, Okay, so where are we at with that? You got court Wednesday, if I remember correctly. You just to rebrief the people or to remind the people, no registration insurance is what we're dealing with.
Okay, quick rehash. My cars were sitting out front of my house. They had private plates on either of the license plate thing on the back. I came home one day from work and my vehicles were gone. My cars were gone. My automobiles were gone. My property was gone. So I immediately called the police. They said they had been taken. I said I wanted to file a police report for stolen vehicles. They said they were taken. gave me the information. Anyway, I went through the paperwork as far as things go. I've noticed everybody 3 times, notice and demand, notice and demand, notice and demand. Anybody involved that I could with the city. And my first court was a replevan hearing, which is about ownership and return of the property. And from there, I got taken to jail for contempt for audio recording. And then the magistrate told me to stop, and I didn't. And I told him I wasn't going to. And then he tried, and then he said, I'm going to hold you in contempt. But once he already said it, I think he just had to follow through. So I went to jail for the night. I don't even know any of the charges about that. I don't even, never got any kind of paperwork on it as far as things go. So I don't even know. And I don't know what the charge was when they took my car either, or cars. So
they never made a determination on who owns. I love these words too.
They said it in a
replevan hearing.
Oh, is that what it is? Replevan?
Yeah, from what I know. But I mean, again, this is all their Latin nonsense, right? Again, like you said, the most important thing is what are they doing? Because if we can understand what they're doing, not what they call it, then we don't have to call it that. We could do the same thing is how it should be and is going to be, because we're not going to continue to learn their garbage to get them to do the right thing. They're going to learn how to do the right thing when we tell them to fucking do it, because they should already know it. And this is common sense. And we all speak English here. We don't speak fucking Latin here. So this is part of the problem. They want to resurrect the dead language and then add definitions onto that, knowing the average English colonized slave here doesn't speak that language. Fuck yourself. We know what that is. That's the same thing you white people wanted to do to keep black people from living in a society on an equal level, right? And like you do with everybody. It's not even white people. This is what people do with everybody. Try to stack the deck to keep some real live motherfuckers from out competing you, right? That's all that is. And then again, the ergo, the whole series about Columbo, this is why they make movies and series off this shit, because at the core of all this is still right from right, wrong from wrong, cause and effect, truth, and a whole bunch of extra bullshit, right? We just cut right through that. So did they ever determine who owns the property? Because I'd love to see their findings on that when they say that they have an interest in that property because you got all the documents.
There was the latest letter, and I haven't even really looked over all the stuff because I don't think it matters. I think at this point, my only offense is to go in there and be honorable, be truthful, with the approach that my property was taken unlawfully, without notice, without cause, and without due process. And is there anybody else that has an interest, any other man that has an interest in that property, or can say that that property is not mine? That's my whole, and I'm just going to keep going back to that as far as I, plan. That's what I've got played out in my head, more like, just like, can you prove the property is not mine? Can you prove that you lawfully took it? And they can't. Right.
So this goes back to, and again, you have to decide how you want to approach this. Do you want to, because it's like, we can see it's their case. They have a piece of your property, but their game is they have an interest in the property, and it's their case. You're the defendant in that case. Either you want to get into that case and what?
Dude, they tricked me out of position completely from, however I did it, or, tacitly agreed, whatever. This is a pre-trial. This is not even the trial. I was getting on trying to, kind of figure out what all was going on. And it said on the 21st, there was a summary judgment for the defendants. It had nothing to do with anybody except for the defendants of being the city defendants, the corporate city defendants. So they've ruled that they are, not involved. They already ruled them. They win is what it says. But I'm just going to go ahead and say, how can you do that when they weren't even taken lawfully? That's the whole point. So we'll see.
But that is the whole point, is that the deeper you enter into their court and their game without creating the distinction, it doesn't have to be lawful because you're in a legal arena. This is my point about the physical, metaphysical, and the differences between right and wrong versus just what they do. They do wrong every day and call it right because, hey, legal process procedure, right? That's the whole point of, you could argue, the legal system. How to convert a wrong into a right. How to convert their property, your property, into theirs. See? You could argue it that way, right? So, again, at one point on this land, it was legal to own slaves and trade them like property. It didn't make it lawful. So this is the point. If you're going to enter into that arena and argue the facts and try to play defendant, then you're going to.
I'm labeled as plaintiff in this case. They said
on their paperwork.
Yeah.
Well, that's fascinating. Can I get that?
I want my shit back, and I want compensation for it as well.
Wait, but is this after
filing against the city?
Okay, so you're saying
how it actually went down.
No, let me be clear. Let's be clear. You filed to have the matter heard for you as the claimant or the plaintiff, which is really a complainant, but we could. It's semantical technicalities, but there is a difference. The point is, you're saying you already did the other side where they said you're guilty and that you win, like they win, like you said, and they kept the car and everything, and now you're trying to go the other way?
No, I haven't. This is pre-trial. The first thing that happened was in January. I went to court for the replevin. That's when I went to jail. The next time it was like I don't even know what they called it, a summary hearing or something, just to see if there was any kind of validity to whatever, and to see if they would even. And I told them.
And this is a continuation of that case.
Yeah, from October.
And they have you listed as a plaintiff.
Yeah,
that means
I filed it, but I went back and forth, and I'm trying to listen to.
If that's true, then that means you potentially have a counterclaim on file, and you could flip the court because there's nobody on the other side.
The tow company has a counterclaim.
Okay.
Saying I owe them like $3,000 or something for, storage fees and whatnot.
Right. But if you flip the court and you're now the claimant, and the only other counterclaimer is the tow truck, then there's no initial claimant on the state side, which means their shit goes away. That means the tow truck driver loses, and you get compensation.
That's what I think. I said it's already default.
Right, but they might try. What they're gonna try potentially to do is 3-card Monte you, where they bring in a guy to be the counterclaimant, and they run the court without having a claim. That's where they have to be knocked out of the box. Who is this person? They have no firsthand knowledge. The only person you have who has firsthand knowledge is arresting officer. They can't be the witness. They can't testify on behalf of this tow truck driver's claim. But see now, I've never seen this position before. So we're navigating kind of new ground. What they might try to do is, usually they'll run game on a slave. They make the cop the witness and the cop, which is not technically supposed to happen. And everyone just sits there and lets it happen, and they run game on you like that. They might try to get the tow truck company who has a contract with the cops, in which case that's your piece of, that right there is your piece of conflict of interest. This tow truck company has an ongoing contract with this policy enforcement division. They're both service providers. Perfect symbol. They're both service providers. I
saw it as soon as you did.
They both have a contract that is in their benefit and best interest to say I'm guilty of something, so they could take my property and stick me with a bill for it. So I don't know how they're going to use. Again, if you let them run game on you, they'll run it 10 different ways. That's what they might be trying to do, is get the tow truck company to be the actual claimant and get someone to move the court, because they're not going to be able to move court. They're going to try to get the prosecutor to move court on behalf of this corporation over here. Now we got the state corporation moving on behalf of the tow company corporation, using the police service provider corporation as the witness. And that's a kangaroo court from top to bottom. You guys are hilarious if that's what they try to do. And that's right where I'm going for, if you're going to argue the facts. Because okay, so now this is good, because I get less guilt. I'm not gonna say you're gonna lose,
dude. I've left. Good. I don't care. Whatever happens, It's fine.
We're practicing law, right? That's the bottom line here. There's no guarantee.
I'm excited. I mean, I'm really go ahead.
Right, because oftentimes I feel like the best thing to do is just put everything on paper, step back, and not talk to anyone or argue.
Maybe that's my approach. I have notes of, the questions to answer, ask, and what they need to prove. They never even proved jurisdiction from the start, which was the whole point in the beginning. Because I was like, nobody had jurisdiction to take the vehicles.
Right. That's going to be that's your second line of attack it doesn't matter what order you put them in. If you're going to try to play lawyer here and represent yourself, you're entering in, which to me means once you start arguing with them and getting in with them and into the legal world, as far as I know, they might pull something out of their ass where you always lose. I can't, but okay, cool. Even if you go on there into that and argue the facts of the matter of the case, I'm pretty sure legally, and again, this is where they're then going to use their bullshit clauses probably and go, well, Constitution doesn't apply to you anyway, and you can't make a constitutional claim. You're not a party to it. But even if you did, once you claim the Constitution, within there's congressional citizenry and this idea of public safety. And they're going to try to use this idea that your vehicle and what you were doing potentially created a threat to the public. Right. And then that's the action that was taken from the society to move on your property. Right. But again, it's all collectivism, nonsense and bullshit. And they're going to try to use that clause to get away from the initial part of the Constitution where it talks about security of your person, papers, and effects, and the necessitation for a warrant to be issued. Right. So again, if you enter their world legally, you're still going to have to invoke either what I call the common law, which is not the greatest thing to call it. It's probably more natural law and proper procedure as it was originally meant to be. So I don't even know if I have a word for it, but the point is all their amendments later, like everything else, are ways to get further and further away from their liabilities and obligations. This is why I laugh at these patriotards who talk about the Constitution. You don't have a claim with that because you're not party to that contract. And if you want to get into that world, you're not understanding, or I'm projecting either, and you guys do understand, but every time I ask them to tell me what's in there, they don't know. So I know they're full of shit. My understanding and or projection or deception is that the later amendments in that document make it such that the earlier parts of the document have been null and void in a sense, right? And that makes sense to me. Like from a streetwise perspective, that makes sense. You're dealing with con men who over the course of hundreds of years, the lawyers and the schemers, they decided we're going to keep amending the shit out of this document. That's why Obama and the rest of them kept making speeches about how the Constitution's a living document. I love that phrase. You see, you got to learn to decode these swine and what they do, and then you realize the rest of what they're doing and what it is. The reason they want it to be a living document is not because they care about your rights, so they can amend the shit out of it and take over your life. See? Because this is why I'm saying the statism can never work. The spirit that's encoded in the Constitution has to be upheld by both sides. It's been trampled by both sides. Because over the course of hundreds of years, just like always happens, the legalists, the lobbyists, the corporatists, the fascists, the collectivists got their grubby paws on a document that reflects the spirit of the law here universally, and they amended the shit out of it and created constitutional provisions and War Safety Powers Act so they could blow shit up and blame it on people and take your fucking rights. Okay? As they give speeches like Obama saying, at some point, we're going to have to give up some of our sovereignty and give it over to people who really know how to use it. He's telling you what they've been doing the whole time with the amendments and everything else, slowly but surely getting the sovereignty out of the hands of the individual man and woman and into the hands of the system and the collectivists so they can really use it properly, right, to keep everyone safe. That makes sense. So they need to stop this garbage. Stop referring to the Constitution. It makes you look like a dunce. The people who are the judges and you call judges, administrators, know the case record, and they know it's been ruled on by someone like me who has a fucking ability to use philosophy, logic, morals, and ethics, who put on a black dress and said, no. There's dual jurisdiction here. There's a legal person and a natural person in U.S. code for a reason. There's an Arizona state and a state of Arizona for a reason. There's 2 senators per state for a reason. There's an overworld and an underworld for a reason. There's a masculine and feminine for a reason. These are real philosophers who can see the holographic reflective nature of reality and how all things come together. You need that to be an actual judge or adjudicator. Most people don't have that, by the way. That's what used to be called common sense. And that's where I get the term common law. Carl Lentz would probably tell you something like common lore, and I would accept that. That would be a good way to put it. This is the common lore of the land and the people, which is the idea of right from wrong. Whether you write it down or not, it's spoken about in places like this, and it's embodied, and we see the value and the power in it, and we know that all success and prosperity hinges on it, right? So, again, step back. This is why we don't operate in a dead language like Latin, because it's not the common lore and the common parlance, the common colloquial way that we speak in the language we use. Why are we learning that and going to that?
I'm with you.
To get to the meanings of things, right? To get to the experience of things, we don't need that. That's an extra step. That step is put in there on purpose to be something in the way between the average man and woman and liberty and justice for all. That's not right. And this is why I'm telling these legal beagles like Cameron and others, go whip them all you want all day and get a big bag. Hopefully you'll share some with Paulie Boy. Doubtful with most of these motherfuckers, but okay. If not, that's cool. I ain't going to be counting someone else's money. The point is, go get your money, boo-boo. You know, go chase that bag. And then when we get back to reality here and you whoop them enough, we got to get down to what needs to happen next, which is these people need to recognize dual jurisdiction on both sides. The administrators already admitted it. I got them on record at state court. Now we need to understand it on the other side. That means no more legalese for a man or woman to walk into court and have his rights recognized. That's the way it should have been all along. The fact that it's not proves to me there's a scam afoot. You guys don't want to hear actual claims from man and woman about wrongs being done because you know who's going to be in court all day, every day? The citizen slaves and their supposed servants beating the shit out of them and taking their property and rights on the side of the road. Yeah, you don't want them to be able to do that. You want them to have to call bar members and corporate males who don't want to take the cases because they're a bunch of fraternal order cowards. Yet we're on to all of you. And now we're going to replace you, just like we're doing with broadcasting, just like we're doing with medical system. I got a box full of herbs and plants up there. You want to know all about them and what they do? Yeah, we're replacing you motherfuckers too. We're just going to replace all of you. We're replacing you legal lawyers, scum. This is what it says in scripture, by the way. Physician, heal thyself. It tells you in the scripture to become everything the Babylonians haven't done and been yet for yourself and everybody else. So we don't need them anymore because we never did. They've been tricking us out of position this whole fucking time, turns out. So we're going to replace you preachers and fucking pastors. We're going to replace you fucking corrupt medical system tards. We're going to replace you politicians with folks who can actually self-govern. We're going to replace you lawyers and you public pretenders. We're going to replace you fake-ass teachers with your Common Core indoctrination. Do I need to continue? I got a master mechanic outside who's going to replace you auto repair swine scum too, who lie and grift and cheat and sign on for face scanning licenses and everything else that you just did. By the way, should we talk about how they just shut down 3 major corporations that have been open for the last 150 years and want to institute a monopoly there with the auto industry? And should we talk about who's behind it? And should we talk about what their new plans are they're bringing in? Yeah, they don't want to talk about that. And they don't want to talk about the harbinger of what that is economically. When you have 150 and 200-year-old, however long it is, 90, 100 years, I don't want to overshoot it. When you have companies that have been here and thriving and been the backbone of America for the longest time, packing up and going home or off to do other things, it's not a good look. And by the way, if you think your fucking politicians and all the rest of your swine like Donnie behind them aren't incentivizing them to do it with their data centers and their AI and all the rest of it, you're sucking your own dick again. Excuse my language. Because he's on board with all of it. All the MAGA Q-tards who want to deny reality. He just supported Bill Gates at the White House after the vax fiasco. He just supported the folks in the glyphosate. Doubled and tripled the funding. Came out and said, we love the glyphosate. It's great. Sprayed all over everything as the cancer rates go through the roof. He says he loves the flock cameras. He loves the tracking and tracing. Right. How much more do you slaves fucking need? I guess they're going to have to set off some nuclear micro nukes in a few major cities so I can sit here and sound like a crazy person when they blame Iran for doing it. And you'll say, Polly boy, we knew it. They were going to kill our daddy. They were going to take our way of living, just like 9/11. Yeah, we know. We know everything top to bottom 8 out of 10 times. You motherfuckers don't know shit. And this whole place is going to be taken if you don't rouse yourself and get your ass into gear. And we have another person in back who's actually fucking doing something. Maybe we need more of this here. Maybe I should do a whole broadcast one day. If you're actually doing something and or have been to court and gotten results, come up here and come around here. You guys can hang out if you don't make it to whatever for me, because you know I got my own roll and flow here. But right. Does that even work? I guess we'll check in with the audience at some point. So Julian, you have court as well coming up. And by the way, this is great. These are all the folks around me who Paul Enslaved made them do it and got all these people in trouble. Like they used to say growing up with me, all the parents, don't hang out with him. He's going to get you in trouble with his craziness. Well, they all grew up and this is them now, mom and dad and everyone else. So they're all getting arrested because Paul is doing a cult. And he's a bad man, and he tried to inspire a bunch of grown fucking men to do something for themselves and their people and their country and their families and their future. And I'm such a piece of garbage for that, by the way. Let's just get that out of the way, okay? Go ahead, Julian. You got arrested recently again. And by the way, so far, to keep track, you got 1 dismissal on these similar charges so far. You got 1 other where they suspended your license but didn't do anything else. And you got a 3rd one?
Yeah, so the first one, it was just, I completely choked on that. They had me signing stuff, getting out and everything. So that did result in like a 6-month court supervised probation. So I just do some community service, check back in 6 months. And as long as I didn't do anything, it was off. The other 2, the second one, they just dismissed outright entirely. And this was like probably a year ago now. And the 3rd one, they suspended the driver's license, but they didn't come after me in any other way.
Okay, now let me lay it out. The problem I got with you on this one, you already know we talked about it, but I'm going to lay it out for the people. And then, again, it might not make a difference. I'm not claiming I'm a guru expert here who I'm going to give you one piece and that's the whole thing. I'm just saying what it could be, because we got to reverse engineer. They're never going. They don't even know, a lot of them. If any of them know, there's few of them who really know what's going on here. And they're going to be at the top, the ones who actually study law and legality and do it for 40 years and like are philosophers. So you still had that suspended license on you. They dug through your shit for that license and they charged it just like they would a credit card. So this is the other thing, right? I've never had a license. I had a state ID card. When I gave them all notice and I called them back up, they said my ID card was canceled. Now, I never told them to do that and it didn't expire. That means something in my paperwork that telling them to do that made them cancel that account because my status and standing changed in their system is what I believe. I can't prove it. Okay. So,
I have a similar belief.
Right. And this makes sense. Why? Because when you get stopped, they dig for that ID like a crackhead. Like you could tell them, and sometime they'll take your name, but they still got to look it up and they're still going to get that card off the digital print and they're going to charge that account, that number. Because every card has an ID number, right? So that's an account. We seem to know that. That makes sense. Just like the original Social Security card. I could pull it up right now. It says account number on the Social Security card because it's just like a credit card or a debit card. You get the card for the account. The account has a number attached. The number identifies the record. The record indicates your status and standing and how to proceed with you, right? So again, when I ask you, and I appreciate you being candid, right? Why did you have a suspended license on you if the whole claim here is that you're moving under a right given to you by God, protected by the government of this land, supposedly? Why would you carry a suspended license on you for them to dig through, find, and charge and have another presumption to rebut? And you say, well, because I'm a dork. Okay. I mean, I can't argue with that. But the point is, the idea here is that we're reinvoking the Renaissance period we're involved in here is spiritualism. We don't care about the papers and all the rest of the symbols of power and value. It doesn't work anyway. It's extras. It's nonsense. We care about what's true and what's right and makes the most sense. And again, for you folks who are listening and you're going to give me the rap because I know you guys like the back of my hand. Well, Paulie boy, what if you get in an accident and somebody gets hurt? Who's going to pay? Part of living on a land of free and brave people is you all take a risk and work in trust and faith and equity that you go out and you move responsibly, but accidents still happen. There is no system or reality that can ever guarantee that accidents won't happen and that everybody's going to get paid. Okay? Because again, these insurance companies, I think they have a minimum coverage. So they pay up to a certain amount, whatever it is, 5,000, 10,000. So you could even have insurance and somebody hits you, you get a bill for 80 grand, they're going to cover 10 and you're in for 70. Don't give me the bullshit that your system works all the time everywhere when it's a piece of the story. It's not the whole story by any means. Okay, so with that said, you gentlemen have to be responsible for yourselves. This isn't a place we come to where we talk about we're going to move around with all that. Again, we don't do pre-crime here. And we also don't leave ourselves in a position where we can't equitably and honorably compensate if there is an accident. So I would tell everybody here, you need to work. You need to invest in whatever the fuck you get value from. You need to put value aside. Because if you're going to move around like this, you're going to draw attention to yourself. And if something does happen, you better be able to show good faith and honorability. Right? I don't care if you got to go work for a woman you hit for the rest of your life to pay off the fucking debt because she has no legs now. That's how, see, for the slaves who don't understand how you do real life in courting, there's always a potential for harm. Cash isn't always the answer. If you hit a woman and you get $10,000 policy and she's left with a $70,000 bill and no legs, that doesn't change her life or make her whole. Okay? So your system doesn't really actually work when we get down to what liberty and justice and honorability and faith and results and all of that squared away. So how you do honorable, good faith courting is we all take a risk. You're responsible and accountable. You don't speed. You don't drink. You make sure you use all the signals so everyone can see you. You know, you drive defensively so that a slave doesn't fucking run into you like all of them with the licenses and insurance do. I move a car better than the average retarded slave. I'll tell you right now, with or without a license. I got to drive for them if I'm on the road. Because if I don't, they'll text and drive with a Starbucks up their ass and run right into me. Because they got a license and insurance. Who gives a fuck, right? I don't. I got to be extra careful and responsible and accountable and honorable. So we need to give that proviso, right? That if you're going to move around here, you should probably have 5,000 or 10,000 put aside if possible in the event that you cause some harm and you got to take care of some shit that you accidentally created. Because what's right is right. With that said, cash is not king, okay? And if we want to do the whole religionism thing or spiritualism thing, Christ is king. So if you do wrong or you make it, it's not doing it wrong because you didn't intentionally do it with a guilty mind. If an accident happens and you're at fault because shit happens, then you need to dedicate the rest of whatever to this person to try to make them whole, right? And a court shouldn't have to come into the agreement for you to do that. If I hit somebody, I'm stopping. We're going to survey the damage. I'm paying you on the spot to repair your shit in cash, non-cash. If it's something above and beyond, you know, a certain amount, then I'm going to have to come work for you until I work that off. You know, and that's, again, this is what voluntarism and service-oriented civilization and culture is about. Right? Not the antithesis, which is nobody cares. Everyone hires lawyers and insurance companies and corporations so they don't have to be responsible, accountable, good faith, honorable, and liable. That's what got us here. See, that's not the answer. That's the problem. The solution, again, is becoming all those things. So, right. With that said, I would also have that declaration somewhere just so that they can look at it. For whatever, whether they like it or not. This is a declaration that in the event that I cause any loss, injury, or harm to my fellow man or woman in the course of my daily movements, traveling, I will compensate up to and for the amount of fill in the blank with your slave notes, which is exactly the same thing the insurance company does, by the way. In case you all you geniuses out there want to get a fucking clue sometime this millennia. It's a bunch of men and women who sit around with capital and they take out contracts for you to pay them monthly to ever come in if they have to to compensate for your mistake. And they make money hand over fist because 1 out of 10 contracts they ever actually have to pay out on, 1 out of 50, whatever it is. Right? So it's just more loan sharking. It's just more Ponzi scheme banking in a sense, where the more debt you create, the more profit exists. But of course, somebody has to give something up, a la collectivism. Well, anything the banks and corporations do, you could do as well. Because again, they use a contract. They're just stating they're going to use whatever capital they have on hand to compensate. If you have capital on hand, you could do the same thing. And thus a bond is born, right? Because that's all it is. The liability bond, surety bond, all these different bonds. When you go to court and you deal with all these situations, because it's all banking, right? So again, for all the geniuses / dunces out there telling me, well, Paulie boy, how you going to blah, blah, blah. Well, that's honor and good faith. The first thing I explained. And secondarily, you presume everybody's like you and they don't have $10,000 in savings because they live their whole life in debt like a slave on credit. Okay. So I'm working in trust with the bond, even if it's with me and my creator. You want me to put it on paper for you? I will. If I'm out and about and I cause loss, injury, or harm due to an accident, then yes, I have to compensate and try to make that person whole without putting me out in the street. Obviously. So, yeah. And again, if you go into their code, they'll tell you about self-insurance. For all you geniuses / losers out there who think I'm making shit up, go consult your shitty fucking code. And inside the code, you're going to find on the 4th or 5th line, statement of financial responsibility, which is in lieu of insurance. And you're going to find the idea of self-insurance right there. Because anything they do, you have a right to do. Corporations, banks, and servants don't have more rights and abilities than the people they serve. Get that through your slave head. Okay, so there's nothing stopping every one of you from saving $2 or $3 grand a month or whatever, or $2 or $3 grand a year or whatever it is, self-insuring and creating a statement of financial obligations. And if you ever go to legal slave court, that will suffice because it's in their slave code. And I wonder how many things aren't in their slave code, little cards and tricks and tips you can pull out from up your sleeve that they didn't put in the slave code, right? Because even the things in the slave code, all of you don't know about. While you tell me I'm not legal and don't know it, you definitely don't know it and don't even know what's in there. And the shit I'm talking about is in there. So if that's in there and you don't know about it, imagine how many things aren't in there that you also don't know about that are applicable at court or anywhere else in life. Yeah, this is called deductive reasoning. You could infer or deduce by just what I laid out and pointing you to parts of the code you didn't know exist that allow you to save $3 grand. See, I'm better than Geico. I don't save you 15% or more on your car insurance. I save you the whole fucking thing. Where's my $1 billion campaign? Because in your legal slave code, it says statement of financial responsibility, how to self-insure. Great. That makes sense to me. Declare your gold, your silver, your slave notes, your land, or whatever else property you have as, what they would call escrow, or put in escrow in the event that you need to compensate for any accidental loss, injury, or harm. Now, they don't want you to know that in the code and do it because guess how many corporatists and fascists and collectivists wouldn't have a fucking non-job tomorrow? Right. Now you see the game. Guess how many slaves would start to realize they're responsible and accountable for themselves, their property, and their rights and freedom and everything that extends off of them. Right. And they wouldn't be as easily controllable and governable.
Actually, I think they might be more controllable and governable, just governed by themselves and in control of themselves if they realize, oh, every single thing I'm doing, I'm going to be directly responsible for. So
now you got the lawyer mind. Julian just showed you the lawyer mind. Right? That was perfect. See? Because I said something that was true, but it's potentially only a half truth because it depends on perspective. As he says, they'll be so ungovernable that they'll be governed more than ever. There's your paradox, right? So I can accept that. I can agree with that. Ungovernable externally, more governed than ever from their internal space. That is how you make America and man great again. Absolutely. That's how you make America a republic again instead of a demo crazy. All right. So where are we at with this, Aaron and Julian, as far as courting? You know, what do we really want to go over here? What's our fears? What are we looking at? What do we think we need? Or
I'm just kind of here to share the experience again. Every time I get one of these experiences going, being able to talk to an audience who, you know, it's that whole thing. You talk out loud, you kind of hear yourself say it. It helps me tremendously kind of work through all the stuff that sometimes is just all in my head. But Aaron, I don't know if you were able to finish sharing what's coming up with you. So I'm curious to hear about that. What I did hear, they took your property from in front of your property, and it wasn't even, you weren't even utilizing it. It was just sitting there. That's awesome. That's, I mean, not awesome, just wow.
Well, it is. And then without any notice whatsoever, and I would have never known, you know, where it went if I didn't call. So I'm really here, I guess, just to share the situation with the audience, because I feel like I just am going to go in and do whatever I do, whatever that might be, which I've heard you speak enough. I've heard enough other people speak enough. I have enough conviction my own self that I feel like I can rebut and ideally not get tricked out of position and just stick with the facts, questions, proof that you have authority. Where's the legal authority? Or where's the lawful authority? Where's the authority for somebody else to have my vehicle or my property? What other man can claim that it's not my property? My first thought is, you know, I'm here as a man on the land to seeking remedy for a wrongdoing that was done to me. That's pretty much where I'm going.
Do you know if they converted the jurisdiction, or what they would, I guess, how they would consider it from like criminal to civil? Because I
believe it's criminal or civil. I'm sorry. I believe
but the first one was criminal, right? Because you didn't have a counterclaim. So the first court date you went to, was the tow company on file with a counterclaim?
Not the very first one, no.
Okay, so this is what it seems like. It seems the first one was their bullshit version of criminal for misdemeanors, which isn't actually criminal because there is no victim, but what they call criminal. See, the trick here is this is part of pimping too. And I'm not kidding. We should do 2 hours one day on what pimps do and show you exactly what these people do. That would be good content. So they will take something that's similar, if not the same, and call it something different to try to get you to pick it, because slaves think they're bright sometimes when they go with a second option. They go, that first option's really bad. This second one sounds kind of interesting. I'll go with that one instead of this one. It's still the same thing, right? So it's like, oh, you're in criminal, not civil, but there's no crime because there's no wrongdoing and no victim. They're calling it criminal, but it's still civil court, because civil essentially means an inhabitant of a city or a residual being of a city. It's another word that arraigns you in and gets you in their jurisdiction, right? So it's like, you know, it's in my mind, because then they're going to try to hold you to civil procedure instead of common practice, right? Or common law, or what is common to you? What makes sense to you? What is meaningful to you that also is reasonable and meaningful to everyone else in the room? No. We need civil action, civil procedure, and we're going to run criminal, even though there's no crime and no victim, with civil procedure as well, right? Because again, it's about colonizing you, reining you in, limiting your power and value in that venue so they can make the determination about who's got the power and value. That's the fraud, right? So it's just like when I was at court and he told me dual jurisdiction, but then he tried to pimp me and go, he said one jurisdiction is administrative or corporate, something along those lines. That made sense to me because we've been guessing this the whole time, or putting these pieces together, the legal side. And then there's the lawful side, the natural person side, instead of the legal person side. And he said, that's common law. I mean, constitutional. And I thought that was interesting. It was almost like he didn't want to invoke common law, because one of the aspects of common law is common practice to the man or woman on the land. And since there's no one on the other side in the case, I win by default in that case. He stopped himself like in a chess match, put his hand on it, stopped, took his hand off, and then made a different move. Because if he says constitutional, there's amendments in there, and he can go to the amendment to circle me back around to the corporate, right? Because through congressional citizenry is the corporate endeavor and the corporate capacity. If he says constitutional and invokes that, and I invoke that, I think I'm getting more rights and freedoms. I'm going away from God and deeper into their Congress where they represent me as a member of the body politic, right? We're back in commerce with the corporation. We're back in a limited capacity. That's why the all caps name is Capitis Diminutio Maxima. They're limiting it's a maximum limiting of your capacity as a man or woman under God with rights. So you got to watch that because that's the shell game. Every option they give you, it's all roads leads to Rome. That phrase is cliche for a reason because this is the Roman court system. Like it's always the same replication. That's why they use the Roman symbols at the court, right? So, and again, this is why Republican, Democrat, it's always the same false choice. They put 2 or 3 choices out there, and that allows you to ignore the third or fourth choice that they're not telling you about. Because if you take that road leads to your freedom and your God-given rights, and that's the one thing they can't regulate and curtail, right? So, yeah, bring me back. How did we get to that? Because I asked you, how do we go from the state's going to move a case that you did something illegal to the same case, but you become the plaintiff now, and the tow company has a counterclaim, which is good to me because now you removed yourself out of potentially any criminal action, which probably wouldn't have been the case anyway, because I don't think you have a no license charge. You just got registration insurance, right?
I don't know what I got. I mean, it was sitting. The cars were sitting. So they took the stuff. I wasn't noticed. I called. They pretty much said, here's what you got to do to go get your stuff back, go down and pay. Pretty much said, I'm not going to do that. The following day or 2 days later, I sent out notices to everybody, like 6 different people at the city, plus the tow company. Waited for the time. Go ahead.
Right, no, this person is saying reality rate. Territorial jurisdiction can be challenged at any time. The reality of it is they can't get territorial jurisdiction geographically because United States Corporation has no jurisdiction over the land and the people. It only has jurisdiction over legal persons. Okay? So since the state of the United States doesn't exist as a piece of land or a landmass, it's not possible. And this is the game. This is the joke. There's 3 elements of jurisdiction: geographical, subject matter, and personal. If you claim to be a man, they can't have personal jurisdiction because they only have jurisdiction over legal persons. Okay? Subject matter. They only technically are supposed to have subject matter if they're a lawful court over a victim in a crime. There has to be a wrongdoing. They never have that. Okay? There goes geographical, personal, and subject matter. They can't get the state of in the United States is not a physical location. A man is not a person legally. Lawfully they are because they're a member of society and they have duties and obligations that which the society ascribes. Okay, which is where we bring in legal society versus law society. So they try to get you to be part of the legal society so they could ascribe duties and obligations to you. And then try to overwrite your rights, okay? So once we rebut the presumption and assumption, we're not a member of the legal society, we don't speak legalese, it's not possible to have territorial jurisdiction because the United States and the state of doesn't exist as a landmass. As a landmass, it's conceptual, it's metaphysical. You don't have jurisdiction over subject matter because there's no loss, injury, or harm, or a crime. And you can't have jurisdiction over the subject matter because I'm not a legal person engaged in legal affairs. What do you think of that?
If it's criminal, I think what you're saying is cool, but they do have subject matter jurisdiction, and that's why I'm going through that court because they can have jurisdiction.
They're presuming and assuming subject matter jurisdiction because they have on file a title that's signed and a bunch of applications and registrations that lead them to believe that the state of and its agents have interest in your property.
I want them to have subject matter jurisdiction, I think, because that's how I can get remedy. I don't know all the terms, but I don't know if it's a tribunal and I'm here for remedy. What can you guys?
I can accept that. You're showing lawyer mind now. What we're doing here must be paying off, because I'm saying one thing and you're telling me no, it's this, and I'm like, yeah, actually, it could be. So that's great. You're right. If you are the claimant and you're now moving the court and you're not a defendant any longer, then yeah, you want to confer jurisdiction with them because they're going to execute your demand. That's the only reason you want to confer jurisdiction, so they can carry out their obligation, which is to uphold a man's law and rights.
Exactly.
And the first right you have is the right to property. Okay, great.
I feel like I'm going to take the court and say, are you going to administer your duties as or it'll come. I know, because when I'm on it, it just fucking flows.
Are you going to adhere to your obligations to uphold a man's rights here today? And his first right is a right to property ownership without asking his servants for usage of that property, or in this case, storage of the property. You weren't even moving the damn property around. Give me a break. This is what I mean. And you fucking swine slaves out there who support this garbage and say I'm a bad guy, that we don't have servants and agents coming on people's property, around people's property, to take their property when they're storing it and not even moving it around. Yeah, that's great. We love that. We want to pay more for that. We want to vote for it too. So, yeah, again, you know, this is their judicial canons. This is the spirit of the law. I don't care about the letter of the code. You're the only man now in the room. You got somebody else acting as an agent for a corporation, a tow truck driver. Don't let anybody forget that. They're bound by certain duties and obligations. They don't have rights. You have rights. You don't have duties and obligations to the corporatist legalist society. Okay? So this is where, again, the administrator's only honorable if they defer to you now, and then you'll know, because they're going to go to you. Mr. Spiegel, what do you want to do? What's your claim? Where are we at here? Okay, well, let's play this game. You already know because it's on the paper. Did you get it? There's the claim. It should be real simple. They took property without a warrant. Do I have a right to possess and own property here? Do I got to pay and ask permission to use it or store it? Well, no, Mr. Spiegel, but for the this is what I need to know. We need a back and forth to get some facts straight here. Okay, great. Then what makes these agents believe that they can come on or around private property and take private property, especially without a warrant? And then they're going to give you their double talk bullshit, right?
Yeah, they said it was improperly tagged, and the tag was the notification that it's private property. So
was this on private property?
No, it was on the street.
Okay, well, they're going to try to...
That would have been fine.
They're going to try to make an argument about that, but again, it doesn't wash. It doesn't wash. It's private property. It's being stored there. It's not impeding anyone's freedom of movement. What is your causal action other than tagging to move that property? That property's in storage. So what you want to do is, let's say a grandmother just lost her job. She's getting her affairs together. She's got a car stored there where all the other cars are. It's stored there for the time being till she gets her affairs together. You're going to come take her property and stick her with another bill to ruin her life? That's not what public service was ever supposed to be about. Right? As we all know. Maybe we all don't know that, but I'm here to help out. So, you know, again, if they were honorable and good faith, they'd have had a conversation with you at least, first and foremost, and asked you what this is doing here. They'd have tried to get a hold of the owner, right? See what the deal is. See if maybe they need assistance or anything. No, none of that. We'll just steal the property, stick you with a fucking bill, and we'll inflate the bill too, by the way. So, you know, again, this is why we're doing what we're doing, because it's so out of hand now. They just want to do whatever they want to do to make a bunch of money, and we're all under mafiosi here, and it's not flying any longer. So, yeah, they're going to try to give you some nonsense for the public welfare. This is on public property and blah, blah, blah. But again, you pay to use and upkeep and maintain that property. So who really owns the property? They're there to upkeep and maintain it based on what you all pay. So who really has ownership and claim to it? You know?
They already said that I have ownership. They said the ownership is not disputed. But the fact that it was on public property and it was illegally tagged, I guess. That's their I guess that's what their claim is. That was the latest.
Great. I'm not a member of the legal society. I don't have legal obligations. Was it lawful or unlawful? Did it cause any loss, injury, and harm?
That's what I'm saying. They already said it's my property, so I'm just going there to get it back. Return my property. You already told me it was my property. You don't even argue that it's my property.
I would even double and triple check on that in legal code just out of curiosity. Because again, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to argue legal code. Legal code is not for man and woman. It's for United States Corporation and all those who are part of legal society or do business with it. And I'm not doing business with it. I'm not accepting benefits and privileges from it. And I'm not going to be dictated by it. So again, you need something actionable. The clause would be commerce clause, or the clause would be a threat to the public, direct threat to the public. You don't have either. That property is not engaged in commerce, and it's not a direct threat to the welfare or the being of the public, and it's not impeding the movement of the public. Okay, and you didn't have a warrant to take it. So that's if we're going to argue the facts here, which I usually wouldn't do that. It's okay because I'd rather go this way and try to practice all of it. Then well, that's what I'm going to.
I don't even know that I'm going to argue. I'm just going to present the facts and make them prove that they have the authority or lawful authority to do what they've done, and they don't.
Oh, this person understands it. This person knows where it all goes spiritually, intuitively. Soon they're going to take people when you don't have your tags and your numbers and everything displayed. Well, they've already done it before, sir. Of course, that's where it all goes. Of course, that's where it all goes. It starts with your property and everything that extends off of you and ends up with you and your ass if you let them.
You got his baby up in your butt, man.
right. But yeah, Fleece Johnson, man. Fleece Johnson told everyone.
You got his baby up.
But that's awesome. I was really happy that we were able to kind of touch further on the argument that they're going to try to make of, well, to use these public roadways, you have to have our approval, our markers on your property, right? Because that's definitely the one I run into the most. They impounded my car this time, where the other 3 times they didn't do that. So I'm kind of still newer to going to file a claim pretty much against the towing company and also the sheriff's department that took it from me. But their thing is, you were operating under that suspended license, even though, you know, carrying it around, stupid move. But I feel like I also have a HVAC license, right? I can go work on some air conditioners, but just because I'm going to go change a panel on the air handler box doesn't mean I'm going to be operating under that license. I can use it, and then I can also operate just as a man, because that's what I am first, right? And so I'm curious to be able to argue and present that to them, but that's definitely what I've run into the most is, you're using public property. And when I ask, well, who owns that? Well, the government or city of or whatever. Well, who the fuck owns that?
How could agents who are in a temporary position as trustees to upkeep and maintain ever own anything? That doesn't make any sense. How could government agents own the property that we pay for and use for our benefit? Yeah. This is how retarded the average slave is. They can't even use simple logic.
Yeah, and this was a Lieutenant Aquila that I had that particular conversation with, and
can you point him back to the Declaration and the Bill of Rights and all that, where it says any power you get is from and by us? I get it, though. We're not a party to that, so the legal scum all exploited a loophole. Said, okay, that's great. You guys don't are a party to that, but since you're going to claim it, let's add some stuff on the end of the Constitution, so we put you in this box on the end, right over here. There you go. Right, so it's like you got to just leave the whole thing altogether, but then look back on it and describe what's there without citing it or sourcing it. Like in a way, isn't the document you all swear to that I'm not a party to? Doesn't it in there describe the idea that any powers you get are of and by and for the people? So who or what do you think I am? Well, you must be a person, a legal person, because you got summoned as in all caps and showed up to answer for the surety. It's like, you know, just presumption after presumption after presumption, just like that card. Well, you showed up with the Social Security card to get the second card where you ID yourself as this number with that number and part of the state of and another trustee with legal obligations and duties. So, yeah, you can have that. You can rescind that. They can try to charge that, and you can rebut the presumption. And then again, this is only as good as the administrator who's able to understand the dual jurisdiction and the philosophy of natural and legal person and why this all exists, because this is all based on the spirit world. It's based in archetypal power and value dynamics, that those who can govern themselves need no external governance. Those who cannot govern themselves need to be governed externally. You could argue that's a universal law in a sense. So all this amounts to is establishing who's who and what's what. Where am I on the periodic table of elements, so to speak? All right, where am I on the jurisdictional chart? So, and then they have to recognize that and uphold that. And guess what? Not every administrator is going to do that. So we could be true and right and correct. We can have an understanding of it. We can even cite it and source it. It doesn't mean that the man or the woman in that costume cares about what's true and what's right and what makes sense and what the code and or the law shows or is codified as, you know. And again, that's evidenced by Fleischer at his court and these other folks. They laugh and giggle while he's dressed as a clown. The best part was Fleischer a couple weeks ago. He's yelling at some guy showing up to court in street clothes like me, and oh my God, I wish I was there, because just to have the experience. He's telling him, this isn't a circus. Why do you show up to court dressed like a clown, as he's wearing a powder light blue suit jacket and a polka dot red tie? You can't make this up. He's actually dressed like Bozo the Clown at a court, asking the guy if he thinks he's in a circus. I just said, yes, Mr. Fleischer, with all due respect, yes, I do, because you're dressed more like a clown than I am. What are you saying? But you're not going to do that. And this is why he does it. Don't you get it? He's doing the bit non-bit. He shows up dressed like that every day just so he can turn to you and troll you and go, what do you think this is, a circus? As he's got red nose and hair on and floppy shoes. He's dying for you to say yes, but you say no. And he goes, great, we got one. Dishonorable, bad-faced slave. He does the same things I do here because he understands how to court and get you in dishonor and bad faith and get jurisdiction over you. It's magical. He's the greatest troll ever. He doesn't even have to know he's doing it. Maybe he's not doing it. The universe is doing it, like all of us, and we think it's us. It's still fucking magical. It's still hilarious. It's still one little peek into a greater dynamic that explains why all this is happening the way it always happens. So, right, this is really simple. You're not even in anything criminal when it comes to Aaron. You're in a civil situation at this point, so we're just talking more cash. Oh, well, welcome to slavery and getting banged and being a whore. So you don't even have to worry about arrest, and that's going to make it a lot easier for you to pimp. Proper instruction motivates people. We're not selling body parts here. We're not sex trafficking. Go to your politicians for that. We don't do that here. So, yeah. Hey, with all due respect, man creates government. Government doesn't create man. He who creates controls. That's a maxim at law. So government and corporations only exist because of and at the whim of man. That's me. You're here to serve me. You're not here to cause an impediment in my life and to cause me a detriment. That property was not impeding anyone else's freedom of movement. It was not a direct threat to the public, and it is not involved in commerce. Therefore, you, as far as I understand, do not have an ability to administrate that property legally or lawfully. So now I require that property be restored to its original location and condition, and compensation rendered for the loss, not only the interference of my natural rights, but for the loss of the usage of that property for the period of time that it was unlawfully taken without a warrant, by the way. Because see, another thing, you're constitutional, folks. There's those who don't even care, and there's those who cite it and don't even know what the fuck it means. So for you folks, the whole point of the reason for the constitutional philosophy of a warrant is because they knew, like I would know at any point in history, where this is going to go, what they're going to do. The founding daddies were daddies for a reason, because they were pimping on some level. They knew what was going to happen. That's why your buddy Franklin said a republic if you can keep it. He already knew. They already knew. It happens every time, right? We all know after enough go around here. So That's the reason they put the warrant idea in there. So we didn't get to a police state like we got now, where cops just pull you over with emergency lights and take your shit without ever going to a hearing to establish any kind of guilt or wrongdoing. And oops, no one gives a fuck about that anymore, because why would they? They don't care about anything. Well, good thing, I guess, that we do, right? So, yeah, and then again, it's all going to come back to them. Does this person want to do what's true and what's right and uphold the law and not play kangaroo pussy-ass fucking power games and destroy themselves and their society? I guess we'll see. I wouldn't bet on it. And again, does it really fucking matter? You're not in this for what that administrator judge is going to do or say or not do or say. You're in this for yourself and what's true and what's right and to have the experience. So we're in our element.
Nothing can go wrong. We'll say that.
Right.
I agree completely.
Even if you lose, you still win. That's a great position to put yourself in life. Most people are never going to be in that position where even if you lose, you still win.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of these people a favor, in my opinion, by giving them the opportunity, like I think we all deserve, because I, for one, am not innocent of, ever living backwards, in my opinion. And if you give them the opportunity to act honorably, because it's like you said, Paul, they could just say, hey, fuck you, I'm going to take your property anyway, because we're not going to enforce getting it back for you or compensating it for you. But beyond that, the true value is providing the opportunity for them to say yay or nay to that, and for you to be okay with potentially losing your property. But we're moving towards something that will be a benefit to those who decide to actually stand on it. And man, what a good like motivating feeling I think that is. Because yeah, like you said, you can't lose. You only ever level up.
Yeah, we're not practicing this to win. We're practicing because we recognize we need to become righteous and courageous. We need to become free and brave again. We need to become great again. That's why we're doing this, because we know this is a coming of age story that we need, that we haven't gotten. Doesn't matter how it turns out. The process, the practice, the procedure, the programming is what matters, because it's retraining us to do and be right while we retrain others to do and be right, directly or indirectly, because them administrators, regardless of what they rule, got to go back to their life and their day-to-day and remember us and what we do and say and themselves and what this place is and all the rest of it. And don't kid yourself. There's legal courts of man and there's courts of God. Every time you give these people the opportunity to do good and right and they spit in your face, that force moves on them like the fucking wind, like you wouldn't even believe.
Clockwork.
And they start thinking twice about doing the right thing next time. Bet on it. That's why I laugh at this court of man idea, this idea that you could ever have freedom and justice in a court of man, for multiple reasons, nor do you even need it. Guess what? We're in a court of the universe. That's superior court. You want to talk superior court? I'm going to petition God for us to move on your bitch ass for your wrongdoing you've been doing intergenerationally, and watch what the fuck happens.
That's what I thought. I thought about just, saying, I invoke God the Father here right now as a witness to all of this. I mean, whatever the fuck comes out of my mouth, but I just know that I feel righteous. I feel right. I feel honorable. I think that that's the biggest thing that I've learned from you and this panel is being honorable. Like, it's such a freedom if you're honorable. Like, it's an ultimate freedom. Like, there's nothing then you are bound to, because you know that you're righteous in your being. So that's the exclusion of hell on earth. So whatever happens, like I said, it can't go wrong. And I feel like I'm backed by God. I mean, however you guys want to view it however you want, but I just feel righteous in my pursuit. And I feel like it fell into my lap. It was karma. It was not karma, but just cosmic, like you said, coincidence or whatever. It just, I was led this way. I didn't pick up this fight. It just so happened I'm, following, trying to learn, just, because I believe in freedom and rights. And then all of a sudden this shit falls in my lap and I pretty much have to act on it. So, it's a responsibility. It's an example. It's a growth. It's like you said, courage is, like when I think about it, I mean, it raises up a kind of an anxiety in me, and at the same time, it's an excitement, like, because you don't know what's going to happen, but it's like, you know, because I've had thoughts of like, oh, I'll just fucking not go, let them fucking do whatever they want. I really have had that thought, and I'm like, knowing, you know, as I'm having the thought, I can't do that. Like, I have to go, but it's scary, right? But that's the courage, you know. You face your fears, you become stronger. That's part of that process. And then ideally, other people, like what you've done, has given me the courage, and I'm sure thousands of other people, to do what is right. As long as you know you're doing what's right, you can't go wrong. So
you know what people need? You know what they need? Because the word in courting and banking is intercourse. They need that same drive they had the first time they wanted to go out and lie and try to get a woman drunk so they could try to fuck and be fucked, right? Excuse me, I know it's a family broadcast, but I'm just going to keep it all the way real. You need that same, all you corporate beta males out there who chase money 24 hours a day so you can chase pussy and trick and lie, and all the drive and energy you got to chase to fucking be fucked is the same drive and energy you need to liberty and justice for all and go into court. See, different courting, same energy, different courting, right? I always wonder, like, is there something we could tell about a group of men who literally will fucking chase thousands of women throughout their life to lie on them to fucking get fucked, and they got plenty of energy and money and time and wherewithal and drive for it, right? Ask them to get up and stand for something one time and watch them curl into the impotent mess that they are, right? And impotent just means powerless, impotent. Okay, so yeah, that's what the beta males are going to have to start doing to be great and real men again. Get all that energy and resource and fucking be fuck drive and channel it into something that really fucking matters instead of trying to find your masculinity at the bottom of a future mama's vagina, right? Your mama's vagina, because that's ultimately what you're doing sub-psychologically on a Freudian level. You know, you're really going to show these women how much of a man you are by lying on them and fucking on them and not doing what you need to do for rights, freedom, property, your country, your land, your people, your future. Okay. And again, they can't, they never, when they start their podcasts that are amazingly successful, because there's so many bitter males nowadays, they can never figure out how they got to that point of women collectively not trusting them and respecting them and being inspired by them. I can figure it out. No one seems to want to hear it though. It's interesting. They'd rather do fresh and fit million viewer live podcasts and broadcasts where we shit on the women, hate on them, make a big joke out of them, and won't take accountability, responsibility for how you raised a whole generation of trick males and therefore a whole generation of hoe females. Right? That makes perfect sense to me, because neither of them gives a fuck about rights and freedom and what's true and correct and what needs to happen. They both only care about getting money to fuck themselves and each other and receive money. So it all lines up for me right there. It all makes sense. If they ever want to know, they don't, so they won't. But if they ever want to know, just tell them to come on over here and I'll explain all the things they can't seem to explain that they try to explain in their bitterness and resentment, while they LARP as supposed leaders and influencers and fill the next generation with a bunch of toxic garbage and divide men and women even more, by the way, which is what they're sent to do from the Luciferian spirit. So it makes perfect sense. I mean, if you really don't think about it, just kind of look at it and feel into it for what it is. Thoughts on any of that, or your own thoughts, questions, comments, concerns? We got to circle back at some point because we need some. We haven't had any experts in a while. We haven't had anybody in a suit who, you know, understands legalese or says they do and knows a lot about the world and how it works. My point is, get what you need out of this place.
It's been crazy unsafe around here lately. We do need more experts.
Right. Yeah, I forgot where we were as far as the recording thing, but I think we got most of it down.
Yeah, we're looping. We're probably right back to where we were, somewhere in the loop.
Yeah. Well, we're looping on a macro level anyway. We're somewhere in a dark age, light age cycle in between part of the loop again on the macro level. So
you never finished saying what your case was, what was going on with that. You just said, I think you ended on giving them the chance to be honorable, but you never really expanded upon what's coming up, I don't think. or maybe you did.
No, I haven't really touched into it too much. So kind of the basic happened. I was actually going to visit a family member because I make a trip out to Utah, where I'm from. Occasionally, I have a well there where I like to fill up my 5-gallon water jugs. So that's like the initial reason I go out there pretty often. But my sister just got a new place, so I was going to see that.
Julian,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. We got a call here. It's not just me being an interrupted ass.
So I was going to see that.
Julian,
Hello?
443, you there?
Yeah, hello. How are you?
How are you? What can I do for you?
Oh, is this the breaking news?
Absolutely. This is 1013 WSLV, your home for all things slavery and genocide related. Caller 103.
First off, I want to say I appreciate everything you do. You're doing a good job, and what you do, you're very talented at what you do. Okay, I want to just first off suck your dick real quick. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
What would you say? What would you say is worse? Is modern feminism? Because I saw you talking about the red pill, right? And I am super anti-red pill. I'm very Christian or conservative. What's worse, modern feminism or the red pill?
Again, you're doing it again, and watch this. See, now stay with me here, and I love this. When did you find us? Did you find us new? You're new here?
No, I've seen you guys for like I've watched your stream probably like a dozen times over the last year.
Am I getting you out of your trance? Are you slowly coming out of your trance? Is that what's happening?
No, I'm firmly in my trance, and I disagree with a lot of what
you're determined to stay there. All right, that's okay. We still love you.
Or maybe I am.
Okay, now watch this. This is what monkey mind does. It tries to find the lesser of evils to justify, because that's how it finds power in a powerless situation. I would encourage you not to do that.
Well, two things can be two things can be
true. Let me finish. Don't get defensive. You asked me a question. You asked me a question. Don't get defensive when the answer is revealing a condition. See? Because this is great for everyone. Right. This is the whataboutism. This is the left or rightism. This is what has you labeled as a conservative,
very
right?
True. I definitely called you into the whataboutism.
Right, because what's worse? Correct. What's worse? I'm not going to tell you what's worse. I'm going to tell you that they're both complementary aspects of a dualistic reality, and they both serve to bring us to the same place, just like the left wing and the right wing. See how that works?
I hate both of them as well, but you're correct.
But level with me. Only a person who wants me to say that the feminism is worse is going to call up as a man and ask me what's worse, because you want me to say.
I mean, come on. I mean, on a timeline, right? I mean, objectively.
The game again. You're coping and copping. It's a coping cop out is the point. I know. I get what you're doing. I see it a mile away, and I'm telling you why it's a failure, and I'm bringing you one step back to get to where you need to go. The question you should be asking is, how do we get to the position? How do we get to the position? How do we get to the position where two sides of the same coin on both sides in every dynamic are running us into ruination? That should be the question, not which is worse so you can justify your flavor of lesser of evil. Make sense? Do you see where I'm going here?
Well, no, because I disagree with feminism and I disagree with the red pill. I hate both of them.
Okay. So then, all right. So then I'll accept that I projected and I was presuming you're wrong, because most people would ask the question for that reason. What's your reason for asking the question?
I'm sorry?
What's your reason for asking which is worse?
Because I feel like the red pill is more of a inherent reaction to the onslaught of modern feminism. Like,
so I was right. Let me stop you. I was right. I thought. I can't even get you guys to admit to me that I'm right, and maybe you don't know. So I was right. You had a position. You wanted to ask me a question, so I would align with your position, and we could bond over the fact that we're willing to.
I think it's obvious. It would be obvious. Like,
sir, can I take you 3 steps back now? Watch this. You want to blame modern feminism for why women went their own way, and you want to start MGTOW, men going their own way. What you fail to see and realize is men went their own way long ago when they decided to chase money over values, and your women joined you to chase money. It's not about agreeing with it. I'm telling you the truth. It doesn't matter whether you agree with it or disagree with it, by the way. Just for everyone out there, it doesn't fucking matter to me or the universe or cause and effect.
I'm sorry. If
you don't have to be sorry. I'm just saying I don't require that. It's been validated and verified. It doesn't require an answer because it's just an interruption. So I'm just saying you wanted to point to feminism because you got something with women going on. If I'm going to be clinical now with you, let's get to the bottom of what this is.
Yeah.
You have something going on with women, and you're going to project that onto feminism, and you're going to cope with the fact that you identify with right-wingism as a justifiable response to toxic feminism. What you refuse to accept is the women got toxic and worldly when the men got cowardly and shallow and materialistic. So you got to get back to accountability, responsibility, something you folks hate, can't stand, will do anything.
No, I love that. I love that. I'm very Christian. I think I'm anti-materialist myself.
Right. Well, exactly you're not able to, this is why PCP is great. Okay. I'm not promoting PCP like Steve-O, but I've
never done
PCP saved my life routine. I'm doing a bit now, right? What I'm saying is PCP is a shortcut. Don't do PCP. Do the enlightenment practices where they teach you how to depersonalize, in quotes. That's what the clinical psychologist, like the effeminate male, said to me when I was practicing enlightenment so I could know without projection. He said, well, Paul, you seem disassociated and depersonalized. I go, as much as possible. They didn't understand that. They didn't like that. The point is, the further you step back from who you think you are or what it feels like you are, the more you can see it for what it is. If you'd have just stepped back and said, why are women all acting like this? It would be clear if you looked at yourself and your father and every other man around you. It'd be obvious. I can tell you.
Of course, I never said all women. And of course,
I don't care. Just lump them all in.
My father was married, had children. I was married, by the way.
The key word is was.
So, well, yeah, I'm sorry she died of a heroin overdose. But
I wonder why she was on heroin. Hey, she probably should have came to me. I had better heroin.
Sorry, bro,
actually, no, I don't. I died.
I had those demons before I met her, bro.
All right, now I'm being morbid. Now I'm being.
We do our best. Now we do our best.
Now I'm being flippant and morbid.
Our people we love. Look, man. Okay, if you want to bang on me about like my wife killed herself because like of who I am, like okay.
No, I'm saying that I was on heroin too.
Say again. Yeah, well, I wonder why your wife killed herself on heroin. Okay, yeah.
No,
okay. I was gonna fucking say it again, dude. Say it fucking 3 more times. Bro.
Okay, if you want to play the victim, I'll say it 5 more times because I don't mind. We can play the position.
5 more times.
I come from that life. I come from that reality. As morbid and dark as it is, it's still truth and reality, and I can make a joke about it to cope with it because I lived it.
And we all have our issues.
Right, so I was on heroin and I was on heroin. So I was on heroin and I overdosed twice because it's like a nightmare being in a reality here with a bunch of males who can't take accountability, responsibility. That's one of the reasons I want it.
Yeah.
To try to escape, try to numb the pain.
And the government, don't forget about the government.
I'm not blaming you, okay? So if there's blame,
you're literally
hello. If there's culpability, there's enough to go around for all of us, and it doesn't have to be personal. Yeah. It doesn't have to be personalized. The point I'm making is the reason why a whole generation is on heroin is because they're trying to numb out their intuition, instincts, and spirit because everyone around them is living a lie and disempowered. And it's soul crushing.
Agreed, which is why we need to return to the church.
Here we go now with the church. Tell me all about the church now. Let's take the next road.
Okay.
Tell me all about it, sir.
Tell me all about it. How about community?
That's not church.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, I am not a theologian.
Who did you vote for?
Who did I vote for? I didn't vote last election.
Wow. Now, why didn't you vote?
Because Miriam Adelson gave Trump $100 million.
So you're out of the voting spin where you actually still believe that voting for Masters is going to get you more rights and freedom.
I voted in 2016, 2020. Because I couldn't vote for Hillary Clinton.
I'm not. Notice when I ask one, this is, by the way, why women go on heroin. This is why I went on heroin. Because talking to you is like talking to my father. I ask you one thing, you answer a question I didn't ask.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll try again. So let's just be very simple and direct with each other. You just answer what I ask, and it'll get past a whole bunch of problems. Don't think. Don't try to position. Don't go to deflecting. So you're out of present tense. You're out of the spin of voting for Masters is going to get you more freedom and rights.
Sure.
Sure. I don't. You don't sound.
Yeah. Right. I am. Yes.
Right.
Like there's nobody I can vote for in the next election that's going to do anything.
Okay, that's what I thought. See, I always get it. I'm so good at what I do, even when I'm bad at it. The heroin woman thing, not the best taste, some will say, but I mean, that's just, I guess that's how I am. I'm raw and unfiltered, and I've lived it all, and I'm just kind of like right there with it. And then I go, I think part of it too is at a certain point, I realized that like no one can actually really die. So that like liberated a whole bunch of feelers about this process called death, because it's like, that woman was probably in extreme amounts of pain and suffering. I know I was when I was in a certain position, and I left my body a few times, and I know what it feels like to leave your body. And I presume that's what it's like after death. And boy, is it beautiful and wonderful. It's nothing like what it feels like being encased here.
And when I talked to her mother and she said she found her, she's like, I just felt like she had enough, And I can respect that. And I know, here's the thing. I am religious, and I will see her again. And yes, but that's neither here nor there to this conversation. But yes, like you said, like I have no illusion of like the government helping me. They're just gonna like drain my resources.
Okay, so where are we at, right? Like, because you called up. If we circle back, I think you called up and you asked which was worse. We went left wing, right wing, because we had
red pill or feminism, because how feminism has like completely like created a uber culture of government. It's like a social government that.
Right, but we got the point, right? That I was right about the state of beingness of justifications and excuses, and how you identify with something that's toxic and dysfunctional.
I completely I get it. But
when I brought you one layer back to why the feminism
in a vacuum.
Right, but I took you back to
I can understand
cause and effect related.
Okay, sure.
And why are you worried about feminism unless you got an issue with women? Does it affect your life?
Does it affect my life? That's a good question.
Of course it is. This would be question like one of three that you should have asked yourself. And I'm giving you tools now in the future to get to the bottom of your own sub-psychology so that you don't have to spew it and then have someone like me in public never tell you, but I think that you're completely confused and lost.
Yeah.
So, like, but again, I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm just saying what we all have to come to realize. This is like me too, by the way. Like, I'm not exempt from these dynamics. This is a toolbox we all need, because if not, we do this. So it's like, you obviously have something going on with yourself and women and relationships, and I get it.
Yeah,
I do bits about it all the time.
Like, you got 10 minutes. I can explain it, but like, I doubt you'd want to like,
I think that I already know. I think it's pretty simple, but go ahead and enlighten me.
Okay. Okay. So like by the time I was 3, my sister was older than me, abusing me. By the time I was 12, my mother abandoned me. And then by the time I was 19, 20, I got married. Loved my wife to death. We had a great, 3-4 years together, but my mother committed suicide. And then my wife was real close with my mother. We actually met. My mother introduced me to my wife. And then my wife went back. She backslid into heroin addiction, in which case she got a hot shot of fentanyl, which her mother found her in her house. It was very sad. But so I have a lot of issues.
Why did you love her?
In my life. I'm sorry?
You said you met your wife and it was a profound event. You loved her. You emphasized.
I loved her. Yeah, I loved her.
Right. I'm asking why.
Because she's the most generous person I ever met in my life.
Can you elaborate on that?
She would do anything for anybody. She was like the most kind. She just like people are so like disconnected from each other. She would just literally walk over to you and start talking to you and ask you about how and what and who you are and like she would cook you food and like give you food, and then like she would invite you over to like some cookouts with her and her friends, and then they'd all get together, and you come over there, and then they're all together, and they're playing music, and they're cooking food and giving you food, and then she was just the best person ever. But I mean,
right. So I would like. So this is just how I work with it, right? I step back from it and I go, the reason we love people is very indicative of our psychological and sub-psychology, right? Our psychological beingness, our sub-psychology. And I get it. Like on face value, we go, okay, generous person, these are positive attributes. Makes sense why that would be someone who is lovable. But is there a shadow there, right? Is there another piece to the puzzle? In the sense of, you know, one of the common themes I see here is this idea of being willing to give yourself over to anybody and anything, and it being seen as something.
Well, it's like, you know, we would just spend time together and like laying in bed, like just looking at each other. I don't know if there's like
the point I'm making here is that the point I'm making here is that
Y equals XBA minus C equals love. I don't know, but like all I know is when I looked into her eyes, I felt her looking back into me, and she was just
right. This is my point I'm getting to. You're clarifying. This is great. You loved her because of how she made you feel, not because of who she was and who you are and how that reflects each other and where that goes. That's the issue.
Who she was. Because that wasn't just how she made me feel; it's how she treated other people too. You know, it wasn't just how she treated me. It's like how who she was as a person. Like it was just magnificent.
So like nice, kind, polite, sweet, all that.
Well, she was actually kind of boisterous, and she liked to drink heavily, and she had like a sailor's, you know, vocabulary, which is all fun, you know. But like,
can you tell me about her value system? Where does she find value and power?
Christian. She was Christian.
So
I don't know what you mean power. She was Chris. She found power in friendship.
How could you? He says he doesn't know what I mean, but then answers it as well. So like you do or you don't know what I mean.
Oh well, I guess I didn't understand at the. Yeah,
I know that power is a dirty word. That's why I use it.
I kind of like figured it. You know, power. Yeah, power is a dirty word. So I kind of like went with what I thought you meant.
You get real Christian when I start talking about empowerment, right? Like real, like submissive and weak and.
No, no. She was dominatrix in her previous.
Ooh, now I think I'm starting to understand why you were so attracted to her.
No.
I'm starting to now I'm getting more of a picture.
No. I mean, I bet you'd like to think that, but you know,
at first it came off one way, but now I'm getting a different picture. I'm getting almost an enslaved creature reflection here. The same reason you're attracted to me potentially, not in a sexual way, but. Very loud, very boisterous, very sweet spirit.
How do you know that, buddy?
Well, I'm just saying there usually is holographic reflective mirrors here if we look and can see. So she was everything that you aspire to be or respect or are turned on by, excited by.
Well, no, I've always been generous and I've always helped people in their time of need. I've always offered my assistance, you know, and my labor for free, you know, for friends and friends at any time. It's kind of how we, you know, like circled each other and ended up together.
Right. By the way, I was asking when I meant power, like your source of empowerment. What inspires you? What makes you feel and be powerful in yourself and in this world? It seemingly at times seeks to keep you at a certain place or a certain state of beingness, or.
Yeah, I used to have when I was younger. It's like I just always had this. I was always like, I'm going to be the best person I can be. Sort of, you know, like mantra. Like I loved hiking. I loved LSD, mushrooms. I loved, you know, being a good person, helping friends, you know, being kind, being generous. I just wanted an overwhelming, you know, force of, you know, good. You know, I wanted to be a hero. As a kid, I grew up as a, you know, what kid didn't grow up wanting to be a hero, right?
Right, but isn't that potentially what you got going on with the man-woman thing? Is that whole savior complex, just like with the Jesus and the Christianity thing, is everybody's going to be the hero. Everybody's going to save each other when they can't save themselves. Because that's another reflective dynamic with government and politics, right? We tend to repeat these themes in everything that we do because this is a holographic reflective experience. So, you know, again, I'm not trying to beat up on you or have to find something that's not there, but usually when you get the story of someone's on heroin, you know, oh, I love him so much, and we get to the bottom of it, it's like, you know, 8 or 9 out of 10 times we're looking for something in somebody else that we haven't manifested in ourselves. And, you know, the triumphant feeling turns into tragedy because we neglected our and each other's work for some form of pleasure or relationship, right? We're too busy trying to figure out how to relate to each other and love each other rather than relate to the truth, love ourselves, and love the godly experience, if that makes sense. That's why I was asking of value and power, right? To me, that's the value system and the empowerment. And to most people, it looks like antisocial, anti-love. And again, there may be that may be the road that gets to here, right? So I don't know if the ending is functional or not, remains to be seen. But the road to that seemingly is precisely just that, right? It's like, you know, seeking happiness and fulfillment and values and power and purpose and meaning inside of a woman or relationship, I think is ruination for me.
I love my wife said that. It's use my life. You know, what do you want me to say? I'm just telling you from the perspective of a man who didn't have a mother growing up and pined away for years and cried his eyes out and became suicidal, overdosed on heroin and all this other stuff. Where I came out into a clearing of a spiritual awakening was, this was all like, it's cool, it's great. I'm not saying don't have it. I'm just saying it becomes, like you say, even in your words, it's kind of scary to me that a woman is your whole life. You know, as much as, and again, that's what a woman's ego wants to hear, right? So all the women, please do what you normally do in life. I'm the asshole and he's so sweet, right? But while you say I'm the asshole and he's so sweet, we neglect all of our meaning and purpose and values and real empowerment as men. So you're right. You're wrong. Yeah, you're right. I'm wrong. She wasn't my me. I wanted to, no, you're right. No, I admire.
Like, I really love Jennifer. I didn't think I would love her as much till after she left, and that's cool. And I miss her in a way. We don't really talk anymore. But I can't sit here and make the statement that Jennifer's my life, right? And as much as her ego at one point, as much as her ego at one point would have liked to hear that, my ego would be destroyed to do what I do if I was to make it that, right? And that all too often is what women want and turn a man into. And then they will sit there and together go, look how sweet that is. We pimped the shit out of him. And now we got his balls in his heart. And his balls in his heart ain't on the mission, which is to free everybody in this motherfucker.
Who's red pilled now, right?
Bro, I'm beyond red pill.
They're gonna pimp you
I'm
out
what
like
you
that.
get when you stop taking pills, right? This is the medicine. Put the pills down, bro. You're gonna be all right.
Well, I don't take those.
I love this new fucking lingo with everything. Red pill, blue pill, black pill. Where are you gonna put the pill? Up your ass?
If you're talking about women pimping you out because you know what marriage is,
Sir, I don't need. Yes, I do. This is Paulie knows it all here, right? That's the branding. That's the new branding. Paulie knows it all. That's real triggering. That'll get him. That's what they used to say to me when I would ask these questions and answer my own questions, and they would sit there stunned and silent, like the Charlie Chaplin video, the 12-year-old talking to the teacher. That was me. It's literally line for line where he goes, "Are we free to travel here or not?" "Yes, only with a passport." And he goes, but nothing. Your thing says, and he's running the teacher in circles with all of his garbage and his logic that he won't stand on and embody, right? Nothing's changed. The more we say, the more we change, the more we stay the same. So again, right. Red pillars, all of you red pillars and you MAGA tards and you Republicans, you're pimped and hoed out. Not only by this, I'm not saying you came into this saying red pill and
I'm sorry.
You did that. Don't be sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to get you to stop being sorry. You've been sorry too long.
No, you're doing a show, and
This is not a show. The show is the life everybody's living. I'm just commenting on it.
No, because
your street show is life in and of itself.
More people than just me is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, so again, there's common archetypal themes here. They reflect across many venues. They're the reason why Slackcot has a broadcast now, because he just listens to me for 3 hours at a time, writes it down, and then completely fucks it up and shits all over it and calls it his broadcast. And there's others who do the same thing. Shout out to you. I know you're out there, even if you're not presenting yourself. Okay, so this, again, we see on the world stage certain dynamics. We see on the world stage certain dynamics presenting themselves. They're there for a reason. Instead of argue over which one's which and this and that, step back and realize why they're presenting themselves and how we got there.
Yeah.
That's the perspective we need to start bringing, the lens of observation to everything in life. Politics, religion, medicine, relationships.
To the Jews. That was a joke.
I didn't even hear what you said.
Oh, well, good.
Say it again now. Now I want to hear it.
No. I said oh, you mean the Jews?
Right. Oh, yeah, the Jews. Right. Yeah, that's another one.
You wonder why
that's another game.
All this way. I was like, oh,
that's another whole
joke. It's like, you wonder why everything's the way you start thinking about why things are the way they are. And I was like, oh, you mean?
Yeah, no, that's perfect, because that's what the conservatard, magatard, like they have all these different code
that was the fucking joke.
No, I know that, but it's a joke, and every joke has some truth in it, and I'm going to exploit the joke for the truth inside. I'm going to squeeze it to get the truth out of it, right? We're going to juice that.
Anyone squeeze that.
So yeah, but it's good because every magatard now has a bunch of coping gambits that they jump to try to deny their responsibility and obligations and their accountability. So that is one of them. The red pill sector now wants to jump to the Jews. It doesn't matter who you say runs it. I'm going to ask you who gave it to them, and then you're back to accountability school again. The Jews can't run anything unless you don't run shit. If you were running your shit, the Jews can't touch you. But you're not running your shit, so somebody's got to.
We were Christian.
I want more Jews to run more slave shit. I need to stop you. I want more Jews to run. People like you, I want them to run your shit.
I thought you hated the government.
No. You're confused, man. No, see, that's perfect. I got to correct you. I love external government for slaves who don't know truth, life, and way. You're dangerous. Look at all the shit you just said and did here today. Your woman is your whole life. Someone like you, is liable to hit. I'm going to have to shut you up in a second. You're talking way too much. You did enough talking. We both done enough talking, quite frankly. So someone like you who gives your whole life over to a woman on heroin is so unpredictable and just like out of your mind.
On heroin
you're not letting me finish now. You gotta let me do the bit non-bit. You gotta let me. You said I'm doing a show. You're interrupting my show non-show right now. You're interrupting it.
Yeah.
I was showing right there. I was showing you. You gotta let me show when it's time to show. You can't interrupt me.
Yeah.
So I don't hate anything. Hate is an emotion. If I get into my emotion, I'll miss the truth. Does that sound familiar?
I think emotions.
I can't hate. If I let myself go into hate, I will miss the truth while feeling the emotion. So I think what you meant is I hate when government tries to tell me what I'm going to do because I know right from wrong and I'm not a slave. I don't like that. That doesn't make sense to me. It's actually great for me, though. So even that, I can't say that I can't even say I truly hate or don't like that because subconsciously or consciously, I know that I need that because it's going to make me more of a man. So what do you think about that? I can't even not like or hate that because it's like it's helping me like regenerate myself. It's helping me like find meaning and purpose and values and power and faith over fear again. Right, this whole journey with the government trying to tell me what to do. See, know your enemy. It ceases to be your enemy. I can't even hate and dislike people who want to put me in a box and potentially kill me, interfere with my rights.
I like going hiking in the woods.
That's cool. I didn't ask. So,
but like when you say all this stuff about,
I love governance slaves who give their whole life over to women who don't know their life purpose because they need it. Something bad and dangerous might happen to me. All right. I feel like you have something. I think, Aaron. You have anything? Hold on. I'm going to go to Aaron. Just hang on. You're on the phone. You can't hear him.
Yeah, you're fine. You go.
Let's circle back. Hold on one second, Aaron. So where are we? Where am I with you? I know you don't like the whole heroin wife thing and whatever. And I'm like, you know, again, I put my feelings aside here, and it's very easy for me to do it because I'm not the most feely person anyway in life. I'm somewhat empathic. I want to believe that, but I'm not the most empathetic, I guess. Does that make sense? I can pick up on what's going on from time to time. There it is. Thank you, Aaron. That's a good excuse for me to be a prick too. So that's what I do here. I'm very good at it. You got to do what you're good at in life.
You're already still.
So where are we at? Because I'm back to wondering, like, spiritually, karmically, what the real reason is that you're here. We got to the question and I reverse engineered it and we brought a different.
I was just, no. We answered that question a long time. I just thought, from my perspective, looking at like these two different, you know, philosophical differences, one obviously has way more, you know, political power than the other. And like, obviously they're both wrong, but like, you know, obviously one is just like overwhelmingly has more institutional power than the other.
Okay, so I'm confused. Both sides are wrong and evil and fucked up. They're seemingly running everything. Whether they are or not, that's what they want you to believe, because then you have to engage with it to get something to change. So I don't understand. You're not voting. You see it's a scam. It doesn't matter who has more political power. They're both inhabited by the same spirit. So there's no point in trying to get one to fight the other because they're both inhabited by the same spirit. They're both meant to play off of each other to bring us to a third outcome. Right? That's the name of the spiritual game.
More time speaking on okay.
So, like, what are you going to do and be? Let's get back to you. Let's get back to what you're going to do and be and create and align with here, because your whole life is out there with a bunch of people on screens and in suits somewhere, and it doesn't fucking matter at all.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to work. I'm going to build bombs for the government so they can bomb children.
Say that again?
Oh, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and go to work, and I'm going to build bombs for the government.
Are you being serious, or is this you're doing a bits now?
No, it's not a bit. It's actually confession.
Okay, I'll bite then. How does you going to work as a bomb builder for government gonna make things better, or whatever? It's not. Okay, so I think you're now. Do you see the game everyone plays with me? Because if he's being serious, then this is why you're here. Because you're soul sucked and broken. You're demonically possessed. You subconsciously know it. You're drawn here because the light of truth that I put out is undeniable, even in a trailer without a job or a certification. I mean, I'll go ask my haters, they'll tell you. So do you want to work with this and go somewhere with this, or you just want to put it in my face? No. Okay, so you're just a demonic lord here to show up and really, that's cool. I could work with that content. Yeah, absolutely. If what you just said is true. You're going to go to work tomorrow and build bombs to kill people.
We don't build bombs. I'm sorry. I'm being. I don't know. What would you call that word? I'm being
idiotic.
I guess facetious. I don't build bombs.
Can we just have a conversation, honestly, or what are we doing right now? Water cooler mail talk, like
I just figured. I figured you were through with me at this point.
Well, I guess you figured wrong, because here we are.
So long, I figured,
you'll know when I'm through with you. Ask my haters; they don't love me before I was through with them. Now,
well, what do you want?
I think we were. It's, So what do you do for a living? What do you do for a living then?
Well, I actually do build radars.
You do what?
I build radars.
You build radars.
Radar.
Right.
I build radars.
So kind of a joke, kind of serious, because you're involved with military equipment.
But I don't actually build bombs.
Right. Okay, but that's good. No, this is great. Can you let me lead? This is how you're going to get me done with you. Is I ask you a question, you answer, it's great, I want to comment, and then you go off onto something else. Just take it one thing at a time, man. Stop. You want this, but you also want to run away from it.
I have to learn to be.
This is great. This is perfect. There's no wrong answer here. Just go with it.
Go ahead.
So this is great. You were expressing subconscious guilt is what you just did there, whether you know it or not.
Yes.
Because you are developing radar you know is being used for wicked purposes. So obviously you need to stop that and find something else to do if we decode what you just did there. Because you just came out with a joke to cope with the fact that you know you're building radar that's going to bombs, that's blowing people up, that makes you karmically liable. Remember back when, hold on. Remember back when, hold on.
That's a dual, it's a double-edged sword, man. You can't say it just goes to kill people. It also goes to save people from missiles in the air that are targeting.
How many missiles have been shot at the hello? How many missiles have been shot at United States at this point?
Oh, plenty. I don't know.
Plenty?
Not nearly as much as Iran.
Yeah. Sounds like bullshit to me. I'm guessing that radar you're building is being used way more to track and trace and bomb other people than it is to save all of us. Because every time you guys do tyranny and treason, you give me the it's saving us rap.
Us guys.
Yes, every time a beta male corporatist tells me he's saving me, I know he's killing someone and himself at the same time, directly or indirectly. It's like line for line. It's 9 out of fucking 10 times. Yeah. You are Oppenheimer creating the bomb to drop it and go, oh my God, what have I done? I've given birth. Or you kind of get off on it too a little bit. You got like this weird fetish.
No, that's true.
Yeah, you do. You feel special and important. You build radar that saves people. The reality is you're a corporate punk loser who sits in a box all day developing technology that gets used to destroy people while you destroy yourself spiritually. That's the Luciferi, by the way. And again, if you want to go back to why you and everyone around you is cursed, it's because of exactly what you just said.
Why.
Shut up and let me finish. Shut up and let me finish. Shut up and let me finish. Shut up and let me finish.
Oh, please,
the first dynamic that I brought up was the first. It's not about self-righteous. I have to bring myself. I have to bring myself in line with righteousness. You don't want to. You want to distance yourself from it. That's your problem.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The first theme that I brought up is the first theme. Now you're going to talk your way off the phone because you can't handle reality. Now you're going to talk your way off the self-sabotage time now.
Yeah, goddamn right. Yeah, because you're full of shit, dude.
It's self-sabotage time now.
I'm Luciferian. It's the whole reason everyone else around me is having problems. Oh my God, dude, you're so fucking intellectual, dude. Please explain more to me.
Karma doesn't wait.
He can't hear you. He can't hear you. He can't hear you, Aaron. So the first dynamic I brought up is being willing to give yourself over to anyone or anything regarding the woman you were with. You said
anyone or anything. What the fuck are you talking about? Anyone or anything?
Can I ask what company you work for?
No, you can't.
No, because you're guilty about what you do, and you got to keep everything secret. Because part of keeping everyone safe. Because part of keeping everyone safe. No, I'm pointing out, dude. I'm pointing out your psychology. I'm pointing out your psychology. Guilty, fear-based, wicked,
you're right. No, I work for General Dynamics.
Wicked, selfish, guilty, fear-based, wicked, selfish. Your relationship, your career, your logic, your rationale, your justification.
Bro, okay, you're right. No, I work for General Dynamics.
I usually am. And it's not self-righteous. It's just righteous. We all have to bring ourselves in alignment with it.
This is what I'm fucking telling you.
You're guilty about who you work for, and you're scared to talk about it because they're guilty about what they do, and they hide who they are for national security.
I already told you I work for. Go ahead.
What company do you work for because you're so proud of all the good that you do, hero?
Lockheed Martin.
There it is. There it is. Shove it up my ass. Yeah, we love it. Shove it right up your ass. Yeah.
I know.
It's so full of shit. It's laughable. This is why I'm so smug and not feely with folks like you, because if I'd have let you, we'd have still been back on your wife and how she's dead. And we're right where we need to be.
General fucking area, 300 yards away, fucking experiencing the
Martin. Yeah. Heroes. There's a hero around every corner. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Did more for the
And I'm just an arrogant asshole online, right? Oops.
Yeah. And we beat the fucking Nazis, and you did shit.
You funded the Nazis, jerk off, and you took their whole programming.
No,
including,
I didn't. Nope.
Don't cut me off, or you're gonna. I know you want to leave now because you realize where we're at. This is good.
Oh please, dude, this is hilarious.
It's hilarious. The fake laughing coke.
Yeah, I don't actually work for
the fake laughing coke doesn't change reality. That's a coke gambit
that we did in Dresden. Okay, by the
he's
way,
now going back to Dresden. The hero's going back before he was alive and existed for his heroics.
That's right.
He's going back to the people he didn't fight and beat that they also funded, right? You're a moron on every level. It's obvious.
Yeah, like my grandfather.
Thank you for showing us how moronic and suggestible and manipulatable and cursed you are. Thank you.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? I know what I'm not doing. Here's how this works, dummy. I could do absolutely nothing at all, and I'm in a better position than you because you get judged by what you do and don't do. You're involved in wickedness. You're involved in wickedness, warfare, and death. Don't do the ego game with me. We're talking karma.
I'm so involved in it.
Of course you are. You suck Lockheed Martin dick. That's right. That's your daddy. Your daddy are war contractors.
Hey, do guns kill people?
You're war contractors. That's your daddy.
Do guns kill people?
The point is, you don't get it. You don't get it. You don't have any other position in life other than to work for the state and a centralized military.
Every person who ever shot
that's
somebody
why
with
you're
a gun
here.
is guilty.
Does anyone else find it hilariously ironic that my audience consists of a bunch of agents, feds, Lockheed Martin, DARPA workers, and all the rest, and they're here to tell me how I'm a loser, and they're so not happy?
Yeah. And every gun
and can't figure anything out, and regularly have to go, you're right, I'm wrong, because they can't even think.
Because guns kill people. People don't kill people. Guns kill people.
Such a moron. You don't even realize if I applied myself, I'd be your boss right now telling you were a moron with a suit on. You don't even know what this is.
By the way, just remember, guns kill people.
I know. You just keep coping and LARPing. Just keep repeating like
the people. Exactly.
The slave always repeats because it can't substantiate itself.
And just remember that every gun manufacturer that ever existed is responsible for every person who's ever killed
You made the joke, Cope.
Just accept it.
You made
I'm responsible for every person that's killed by a radar system launched missile. Then every gun manufacturer is responsible for every gun that was ever produced that ever killed a person.
Wrong.
Every death.
Wrong.
Every death.
I love when you. I wish you were on panel so I could shut you up. I can't shut you up on the phone line without hanging up on you. Unfortunately,
I'm responsible for.
I'll just let you ramble now till we let go of you because, like you said before, you thought I was done with you, so you were ready to leave, and then I had to expose you more to the audience and the team here. And now you really are ready to leave, so you're going to talk your way off the phone. I see every move.
You have some Luciferian energy around you that is causing damage to people around you because you're creating radar systems that kill people. And I say to you, and you support gun ownership, right? So every gun that's created by every gun manufacturer.
You think Lockheed Martin is making radar for you and I?
Never pulled the trigger.
Are you going to have the conversation with me or not? I'm going to have to throw you out if you keep repeating and talking over me, which is what you want. So I guess take the coward's way out. Self-sabotage and I'll throw you out.
Go ahead. What do you got? Answer the question.
Are we back? Are you out of your fucking pride and ego and cope? Are we back?
All right.
Oh, we're back. Okay. So, do you think Lockheed Martin's making radar for me and everybody else, or are they making it for these corporations who do war around the world? If you had to guess.
They're making it. Well, they make it for NATO. They make it for
all the people bombing all the places. So what are we arguing about?
Customers, dude. What are you talking about?
You're serving the state and you're serving
United States, Australia, UK.
He's gone again. We lost him.
France,
he's in his cope.
Japan, South Korea, Israel. Yeah.
Let me know when you come back, Rod. I'll hang out till you come back because you're in your cope again. You're coping hard. It's embarrassing, but I'll allow it.
No, it's not embarrassing. I'm telling you.
It absolutely is embarrassing. You're a grown man lying to yourself and an audience right now to try to pretend you're something other than what you are, and we all see it and know it, and I don't know what the point is.
What am I?
I already told you. Do I have to? You already said it indirectly. You said, I bomb kids every day. You said it. You know you do it because you made a joke about it and it's on your conscience. I just expanded upon it and then you went into defensive cope mode.
Yeah, and you know what? And some guy who took an AR-15 and shot up 47 kids in school.
It's not, sir, this is why it's laughable that guys like you are somewhere making radar. Do you know what that means for me and what my prospects were?
Yeah,
I could have done anything I wanted in this life if I chose to. That's what that means. Because you can't even figure out how to use logic. A gun is manufactured. Hello. A gun is manufactured individually and sold privately to an individual. Lockheed Martin has. Don't keep interrupting me to cope. I'm going to have to let you go. Lockheed Martin has contracts exclusively with U.S. corporation to do wars around the world. Horrible example and analogy. Would you like to try to pick another one?
Are you saying gun manufacturers don't have contracts with the United States military?
You're equating a gun that was made and sold individually privately to a public and corporatist group endeavor that always...
You're a libertarian, right? You don't think that the public should have access to these weapons?
Why are you pretending and playing games and splitting hairs with me? Nobody here has Lockheed Martin radar, fucknut.
Well, because they can't afford it.
Of course they can't afford it. You know who can't afford it? The guys who take your tax money to give to Israel. You are such a low-life loser.
And
I didn't like it at the time. I love knowing that black people, that I used to know, used to rob people like you. I love it. I love knowing it.
How many people do you think have died from small arms fire versus...
I am so tired of you and people like you running this world, and I can't wait till you lose everything and it's on its way.
Running the world? This is what's crazy about you.
Yes, it is people like you who are running this world. Inauthentic corporate beta males who can't face the truth on any level.
I'm a fucking union worker, bro. Okay?
You've never worked a day in your life. I bet on it. You've never worked a day in your life. You wouldn't know what work is. If you think that sitting around developing radar to bomb children is work, it tells me everything I need to know.
Oh, please. I'm like between fucking high school in the summer, I was fucking ripping roofs off of fucking houses.
Well, and that's where you should have stayed. At least you were of service then. At least you were of service then.
Yeah. And fucking, every gun manufacturer, whoever made a gun.
Are you ready to be honest with yourself? We're caught up on this one piece when there's so much more we could be looking at. You came here because you needed it, and I don't. You came here spiritually because subconsciously you need what we have here, whether you know that or not. So either you want to walk with that and try to look at that, or you're just going to sit here and play games and cope. It doesn't matter none to me. You got to go back and be you and pretend that it's great. I get to do what I do and be me, right?
Where am I going wrong here?
Again, you're on a path. It's not about going wrong. It's that we're on a path here. And if you back up, you could see the whole thing and what it is and where it leads to. It's not even about what you're doing and what you like and don't like, or me or the rest of it. It's like, okay, I used to vote, be a slave. You think policy and code is law? It's not. You stop voting. You wake up to the matrix and the slave system here. You wake up to the genocide that's going on here, and you start to direct the rest of your life as much as possible to.
I'm sorry. Do you think those radar systems we deploy in Ukraine are murdering children?
Why? So now I'm supposed to sign on to Ukraine war now. That's what you want from me?
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. Is Ukraine not a defensive war?
Why am I involved in Ukraine now when the founders said no foreign entanglements? Oh, that's right. Because you're an inauthentic corporate male who doesn't listen to the founders or the law of the land or anything really other than your pockets and your daddy boss, right? Sorry, I forgot.
Yeah.
So you're in foreign entanglements again. You're in foreign entanglements again. Hey, asswipe. You're in foreign entanglements again. They're going to get Russia.
All right, you're right.
Hello, I am right. And I'll tell you why. If you shut up, I've been right about everything so far. You haven't been right yet.
You're right. Yeah.
You're involved in foreign entanglements. The founders told you not to get in, and you want to play the world police. And guess what it's doing? It's making enemies out of all these big nations that have bombs and air forces and have agents inside on this land, including Russia, China, Iran, and others. You're a moron. You and Donald Trump and all the rest of the morons are stirring up a hornet's nest. And you're telling me to support it.
No, I'm telling you, did you support us engaging in World War II?
I support what's American foundational in law and in historicity and philosophy, and it's no.
So you wouldn't have done D-Day.
Sir, you only know half the story. Do you deny that the Nazis were funded by Ford Motor Company, the Bushes, and others?
Well, they were funded by Jewish oligarchs.
Excuse me?
Yeah. What?
I asked you to repeat it. Will you repeat it?
You know who Dodge is? I said the Nazis were funded by international banking cartels.
Right. The Bushes and Ford Motor Company and other elements of this.
And Dodge.
Right. So you even know this and you're still repeating this and supporting this, that your own people who gave you orders to go fight funded the side you went to go fight. What don't you get about that?
Yeah, no, I don't think we should have joined the war.
Anyone else hearing this, seeing this, realizing how ridiculous this conversation is? You're agreeing with me now.
You think I think we should have fucking bombed our men or something? I don't think we should have.
You were just bragging about going to war in Germany earlier and taking credit. Hello?
I don't think we should have invaded Iraq. Yeah, I don't think we should have any foreign wars.
You were just bragging earlier about being there bombing Dresden when you weren't even alive.
I wasn't. Okay. Well,
okay.
That was your statement.
Sitting inside Lockheed Martin developing radar, and you're an absolute lying retard. You're an absolute lying retard.
You're gonna have to listen. It wasn't Lockheed Martin. It was Northrop Grumman who came in with the fucking bomber radar target system where they dropped out of under the B-52 that had the accuracy that they could bomb the.
This is why your wife went on heroin. I'll bet anything on it. This is why I was right again about that. I don't even care if I'm an asshole. I'm tripling down on it. You can make me feel guilty about it. You're sitting there spinning and not making any sense.
Yeah, I know.
I just thought about going on heroin again, listening to your bitch ass and your nonsense. Okay. I'm going to reposition and lie again and cope.
Go for it. Yeah, I know.
So embarrassing. This is why the corporate mail world is slated to be destroyed. Look how incompetent and capable this idiot is. He can't even lie well. Yeah. He makes no sense. He can't follow any kind of a conversation and a line of questioning.
Dude, you just go harder, man. You spur harder and they'll believe you.
I can't even put two words together in a sentence. This is who's developing your whole society. This is who's running the levers of it.
Oh, yeah, I'm running the levers, bro. I'm running the levers.
Absolutely beyond embarrassing and pathetic.
Next time you buy, a magazine with bullets, that company that made them, they killed the person that was shot by it.
Can I say, I know he can't hear me, but he's participating in it. He felt guilty about it. He brought it up. He said as a joke, but not as a joke, that he was building bombs to bomb children.
Said as a joke, but not as a joke, that he was building bombs to bomb children. Said as a joke, but not as a joke. That
we can hear on your side now. Can you mute?
Are we still here?
Yeah, we can hear it on your side now. He can't even figure out that he has a microphone and something playing.
We're talking about bombing children. Yes, it was gallows humor. And these guys are fucking spurging on me because I had some gallows humor.
So you're in the right place because you know what you're doing is not right. Now you just have to figure out how to fix it.
Yeah, I guess you're
So you're in the right place because you know what you're doing is not right. Now you just have to figure out how to fix it.
Yeah, good. Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. Is other people speaking on your screen, or is it you?
Yes, there's someone else here on the panel.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's gallows humor, and it was supposed to be a shocking thing. And
there's a reason.
that I enjoy bombing children or some shit.
No, I think that you know that your technology goes toward it and you're guilty about it. And humor.
And thank you. Every fucking rifle that's ever been built has gone, and a rifle is shot and killed. How many AKs? You think the people who build AK-47s know they're going to kill African children?
You're making excuses. Aaron, please. I don't want to do the third party because he can't hear you, and then we're reading back.
This is reality.
You're
sorry,
coping and making
building
excuses.
baby bottles or some shit? I'm sorry. Should guns not be built?
I'm really not interested in you coping and making excuses.
Dude, that's such a ridiculous. That's a ridiculous. Like how you?
Then there's
so
nothing for you to do here. Then there's no reason to be here. If you're going to deny that you brought it up because you're guilty about it and trying to cope about it, and then when I focus the light on what that is, you want to deny it, then there's no reason to be here. You don't actually want to be.
Gallows humor and yes, there is.
You're insulting my intelligence.
Do you think people who build or manufacture firearms don't feel guilty about people being killed by gunfire?
No.
Build or manufacture?
No, because it's a horrible analogy.
No, about people being killed by. So, like people who build AK-47s,
I'm feeding back. I'm feeding back.
Africa, and they kill African children. They don't think, hey, damn, I'm building AK-47. And feeding back. Africa, they kill African children. They don't think, hey, damn, I'm building AK-47.
I'm curious how long it's going to take him to realize while listening this is happening. Absolutely moronic.
Okay.
Scary.
Yeah, scary, absolutely horrifying.
So where do you want to go now, right? Because again, you know,
you want to reissue? You want to go rehash my bombing children thing, or like what do you want to talk about?
No, I want to get to the bottom of who and what everybody is beyond what they think they are and what they think they're doing or want to believe they're doing. And you got to be willing to do that. And obviously at a certain point here, you locked up. So
how are you going to dig into that?
We already came to it. You did it. That's the thing. Saying it's gallows humor doesn't change why you said it, because you know you're involved in it. You know it's wrong, and you can try to make ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
If you keep interrupting me, we can't do this. You're even defensive right now and interrupting me because you don't want to have to deal with and handle the truth. It's a you problem at this point. So I guess go sit with it, work it out, or become open in the moment and honest with yourself and others, right? That's what this is.
I think every person that builds a car thinks about.
I'm not interested in your cope. How many times do I have to tell you?
No, it's your cope, because there are 1,000, products.
I don't like you. I don't respect you. I think people in your life don't like you and respect you. And I think that you practice not caring, so you can continue to.
Oh my God.
You're talking over me. I'll see you later. Say your last words. We're going to end here because you're acting like a defensive child who's coping and can't deal with reality. I don't know where to take you at this point. You need some more governance.
God bless you. I love you. Jesus Christ.
Now we're going to have passive aggressive. He loves me. Thank you. Jesus loves me, right? To really seal the deal. Perfect. It couldn't be it couldn't be any more disingenuous.
Well, what do you want me to say to you?
There you go. What do I want you to say? Why don't you go search your heart and figure out in the future how to speak from the heart instead of talk from your mind?
You're a fucking hypocrite.
There, that's better.
I'm so forgetting to saying that for the last 20 minutes.
Can you tell Daddy you love him before we hang up?
And I love you. And I love you.
Yeah, now but you got to say, Daddy, I love you, because you got to say, Daddy, I love you, because I'm a man, probably younger than you, having to teach you how to be an honorable, good faith man who has a care in their heart, right?
Daddy,
I'm showing you and teaching you what your actual daddy never did, apparently. So I'm doing a lot for you, and I won't send you a bill either. Unlike you and everyone else like you, I won't send you a bill for all the actual work that I do.
I'll pay you.
No. Everything here is voluntary. You have to find value and power here, and then voluntarily contribute. We don't do contracts and fake services and genocidal products and all the rest of it, right? We do the work because it's the work we need to do, and whatever is meant for us.
Like pistols? Like pistols?
I don't know what that means.
How many people do you think pistols killed?
I don't. How many people do I think missiles kill?
Pistols.
Pistols.
How many people do you think pistols?
Changing. We already.
That's a 9mm.
Sir, we already went over this argument. How many people
do you think pistols?
Hello. We already went over this argument.
Yeah, I know. You're a hypocrite. You're full of shit.
If it's a car or a gun and I sell it and somebody decides to do wrong with something that's made to do right, then that's a different story. We know what
How do you know it's made to do right?
We know what United States Corporation is using your tools and your weaponry for.
Right, yeah.
Measure.
Everything the United States
war on its own, war on its own people, war on people around the world. We know what it's using its stuff for.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Horrifying.
They use the radar to shoot chemtrails on everybody and put poison in all the water.
Yeah.
We know.
How about all?
We use the flock radar to track and trace everybody, so we can criminalize everyone's rights.
That the Marines had in
you keep going back to a flawed. You keep going back to a flawed analogy. None of us own Lockheed Martin radar for the 1,000th time. Your analogy makes no sense.
Iraq. Yeah, I know.
Your Lockheed Martin radar, you already admitted.
All those gun owners sold it to the government. Yeah.
Hey, how about this? This is gonna finish it right here. You're gonna dig your own grave. Watch this. Isn't it true that a lot of this radar and a lot of these tools the government is allowed to have, but under its code, citizens aren't allowed to have? Isn't that true?
Yeah, of course.
There you go. You're supporting and paying for and working for a system that wants to give government stuff and keep it from the people. You're involved in corporatism, collectivism, and fascism, and we know what we're using the tools for to do war on your own people.
Military, yes, military.
You keep talking over me and cutting me off because you can't handle reality. So it's time to go. Time to go.
Yeah. God bless me.
Sure. Already has.
Peace.
All right, so there it is. Every road we go down with him, he's the hypocrite while he projects it onto me, right? Lockheed Martin, it's used for good. It's part of American way and rights. Wait, isn't it illegal for us, the men and women, to have it, but the servants can have it so they can do war on their own people, us and everyone around the world? Well, yeah. Right. Horrible analogy then. Horrible analogy. And if we have it your way and the way of the people you work for, guess what? The same thing will be said for the guns and everything too. They'll have them all. They'll use it to track and trace and do war on their own people and everybody. You won't be allowed to have it. I wonder why the citizens aren't allowed to have radar if it's so benevolent and beneficent and is so able to protect everyone. Is it maybe because they don't want to be able to be seen doing what they do while they hide and lie? Is it maybe you think the people you work for, that John F. Kennedy got his head blown off when he said that there is an industrial military complex here that works in covert means and covert means as well? It means that they like to work in the dark and lie and steal. And they don't like when other people have the same technology they have, because then you can catch them lying and grifting and killing and stealing. Is that maybe you think why? National security. You guys are so full of shit on every level. And yes, that is why your women and children go on drinking drugs, because it just took us 2 hours to not even get to a conclusion that we got to multiple times, whether you know it or not, in the conversation where you admitted exactly who and what you are or what it is, but you won't cop to it directly. So just imagine every house USA with a jerk off like you at the dinner table and a woman beside them trying to understand life in the world and how things work, and having to deal with you without all the tools that I have, right? Drive her out of her fucking mind. Out of her mind, into her heart, and completely in pain and disturbed and not knowing where she's going to go or what she's going to be involved in. Because she's surrounded by inauthentic corporate beta bitches like you who lie, cheat, steal, make excuses and justifications, won't cop to anything and be accountable, and make everyone else think they're crazy for having common sense. Yes, a whole nation, a whole generation of narcissistic, gaslighting, corporate, cowardly scum. Yep, there it is. No wonder to me why it's all the way that it is from top to bottom. But he's got all the answers. He knows that he's a professional. He makes hundreds of thousands a year. I'm just a jerk off on the internet, a trailer. This is who's running your life and your societies at every level. This is why I come on this broadcast the way I do, because I learned this decades ago. When I found out, and then when I started doing this and really found out, this is the average guy. L. Ron Hubbard was not wrong. You want to know the secrets of power? You know how dumb the average guy is? Half of them are even dumber than that. And those half are running all the levers of everything in the control system. And that's why they're put there. They're put there by their master, who wants someone just smart enough to work the levers and just dumb enough to buy into their own and everyone else's bullshit all day, every day. Fucking amazing. And then they don't understand why I do God of all media. I do it because everyone watching and listening immediately becomes aware. Paulie Boy could be like running everything if these are the people that are doing it. Imagine what I've had to give up in this life. It wasn't much of a sacrifice because I'd have to be around these people all day, every day. So let me not pretend like I was so benevolent myself. I just can't stomach these motherfuckers and their institutions. But just imagine the frustration in me knowing what I had to give up as far as success in the world, supposedly as a flesh, right? Money, supposed worldly power, success, opportunities for people to look at me and go, look at Paulie Boy. He's CEO of Jerk Off Industries. And everyone under him is that idiot. And then you wonder, did I really give anything up? Because I'd be CEO of Jerk Off Industries and everybody under me would be that idiot. See how it works? Every time they think they're in a position of power and value, they've undone themselves. Every time they try to mock me for being powerless and valueless, they don't understand all the power and value is here with me and what we're speaking. And he wants to tell me about God and Christ when his prophet said, many look with the eyes and don't see, ears listen and don't hear with the heart, not get the sense of it. That's you. Insulting my intelligence like I don't know the reason they make the jokes is to cope, and then the reason they're coping is because they're guilty, and the reason they're guilty is because they're doing wrong. You're dealing with Dr. Paul here, right? That's another thing I gave up, because I'd have to go to an institution and be surrounded by morons like that, and have a moron like that try to teach me something. It's embarrassing to all of us. I could start my own show and I can go, how do you feel about being a guilty, broken loser? How do you feel about that? Okay. We want to get you to a position where you feel better about being a guilty, broken loser who's in denial. Let me bring Rob. Where's Robin? You out there? Yeah. We're going to need some, I'm going to need get some extra heroin out for tonight, Robin. Robin might have to overdose on heroin after this one. I probably should get away from that because it is kind of in bad taste, but it's like, they don't understand. I speak from a place of extreme trauma and pain here because I go right back to relating to that woman and flash right back to being surrounded by males like this. And I just get really dark and morbid and what seems to be depressed because I just see the raw truth right in my face and it's not fucking pretty. And it doesn't have to be. It's supposed to motivate your ass to do and be and have better, I would think. But I guess it's just my trip, right? I'm just a morbid, depressed asshole who doesn't care. No, I care a little bit too much for my own good, and I'm surrounded by motherfuckers who couldn't care less. Thoughts on any of that, Aaron? We got to wrap up here. I've been feeling pains for a while here. That should be my new signal to get the fuck out of here. Even if my spirit is willing, my body is, I guess, not completely where it needs to be. Or that's my cue for my body to not come here because my spirit is destroying me, yelling and screaming at folks who willingly give themselves over to a Luciferian spirit and then try to make excuses about it. Thoughts? Questions, comments, concerns?
I thought he had him. I mean, I think he was, pretty much feels like he was ready to just like commit to being fucked. But I think he got scared away just because.
No, it's not over. They never actually leave. They sit in the chat, whether they type or not, and then they spend the next days and weeks listening in, and then at some point they have the conversion or they don't, right? So we know that game too. There was nothing going to happen here tonight. That's why I'm so easily able to let people go, because I remind myself, if it's going to happen, it's not going to happen here tonight all in one moment, right? Because these folks, what they do is part of their cleverness and their survival instinct is they have to do what they think is their idea. This is more child psychology, right? Like it doesn't matter how much you say it and do it and show it and then walk them down and show them where they're goofy and ridiculous. You have to do this long enough to where they start to think it's their own idea after a certain point. right? They go, well, I didn't do that because Paul Enslaved made me do it. I did it because I don't know why. I just one day woke up and thought maybe I should start becoming more. Okay, great. We don't need the credit anyway. After I lit a fire all over them in their house and kicked them square in the nuts, they wake up 2 weeks from now and go, maybe I should start thinking about possibly looking at me in my life because I don't know why. And then the work happened. So.
All right.
All right. We love you. I love you. Everyone's loving. Love me, daddy. Much love. Even more than love. Much love. Much love. Life is good.
Will just say, I appreciate what you do. That's why I'm here. I support what you do. I think, there's power in numbers as far as things go. The more that we can spread the word, reach various types of people just to wake them up to the concept that you actually have a choice and that you've been lied to. And that's essentially, I think that, what most of the people are coming for here is that they're either coming to learn it or to share it with other people. So,
I had a guy from DARPA I told a story about it. I've had others who they haven't revealed it to me, but one guy I wanted, because I knew something was up. By talking to him, I got the energy upload from him. I said, just out of curiosity, where do you work and what are you part of? Because I knew he was something. You could just tell. He goes, I work at DARPA, blah, blah, blah. And there's been a few of these folks like this, right? So it's like, this is why I laugh when folks come here and tell me, you're a loser, you have no effect and no influence and whatever. I go, I have people privately and publicly contacting me from your installations who are running your world and your life. And they're attracted here because this thing's an inside job and God is calling me to get to the inside from my fucking lazy boy. Do you see how magical and miraculous it is? I don't have to go run for office to castrate it and others. I'm more effective here in my lazy boy than I would be in a goofy suit anyway, LARPing around and playing game. So he's not the first. He won't be the last. People are drawn here because the facilitation happens here, and that facilitation needs to happen now more than ever because, again, this is the level of the discernment of who's making all your technology and running it, and it is beyond embarrassing. And again, the redeeming part of this is not that you're stupid. You're just not using the vision God gave you. So let's be clear. This is not about I'm so smart like he tried to default to. You're so intelligent, all that inferiority complex. No. I may have intelligence or whatever. That's not the crux of what this is. It's getting out of your own mind and getting into your heart to care enough to look and see it for what it is without trying to cope and project onto it so you can feel better about what it's not that you tell yourself, right? That's all this is. That's not even really, you could argue, intelligence. It's God's will and faith is what it is. That means anybody can do it. God wouldn't set up a program here where someone with a 95 IQ couldn't do the work. That's not what this is. I have the 130 IQ, but the work doesn't take IQ to do that. It takes SQ, EQ. It takes will and faith. You got to not be a coward. This is why when I come here, I don't give a fuck about IQ and intelligence. Give me a motherfucker who has low IQ and balls and heart, and he will outcompete everyone every day of the week. That's the story of a man, by the way. A man with some heart and some balls who's willing to put the work in will outcompete and outwork the intelligentsia all day, every day. So let's get to it. We'll get to it. We're already getting to it. What do I mean? Let's get to it. It's already happening. And there I go speaking like it's not already been happening and underway, and we haven't seen the fruits over and over again. All right, let's go, Aaron. I got to get the hell out of here.
All right. Well, thanks for having me up.
Thank you, sir. All right, back who knows when. Special thanks to contributors and supporters. You are a blessing to I, the God of all. I'm a very humble God of all media. Modest as well. Scott B writes, for most of us, respect what you do. Blessings. Thank you, Mr. Scott B. I believe that. I can see that. There's definitely evidence of that. How could you not? I sometimes, and again, I know I get it. And there probably is some of that, but really I'm a person when I look back on it, I go, I'm someone who I don't like my own voice. I don't like seeing myself on camera. I've never been up my own ass. I've never given myself credit for what I'm really good at. I've had to almost learn to do that. I'm almost still learning to do that. That's part of the God of all media bit, giving myself care and credit where I deserve it, because all my life I've been self-doubting and down on myself with no worth and esteem, right? But when I listen back to these broadcasts sometime, I get 2-3 hours in listening to me and I did the motherfucker. And I go, this guy's on to something. There's flow, there's energy. It's making sense. Now, from time to time, you know, I stumble because I'm off the cuff here. But all in all, I listen back to what I'm doing and it makes sense. It's all there. There's an energy. It keeps me engaged and inspired. And again, I get it. I'm the one doing it. But I think that would just be somewhat of a common experience to some extent, I guess, for a mind and a heart or a spirit that is oriented a certain way at a certain time in their life. So, yeah, obviously he thinks so too, because he's Mr. I'm from Lockheed Martin. He's got cash and internet and other things he could be doing, but somehow he found his way here, listening and watching me for days on end. So I must be doing something right, you know? All right, I'm out of here. Proper instruction motivates people on the way out. Gorilla Gems production. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We said it all. Right. I thought that I had something else I wanted to address before the end, but Ace was up here. That's what it was. Ace was up here. He left. We'll bring him back next time or whatever. Ace, just hang out in the future until I get past it and I'll get to you. I don't mind if you hang back there and whatever, just let me go through it and I'll get to it. All right, bye.
They turn birthright into paperwork, stamped your spirit with a barcode, but laws written on your heart ain't signed by any court. There's a license for your living, permit just to pray. They rebranded what was given, tried to bill you for your day. Well, my breath ain't on their balance sheet, so don't fit their frame. When the maker writes the mandate, every tyrant looks the same. They tax your time, then sell it back in smaller screens and quiet apps. But freedom's first a mental map. You want out the maze and trace the trap. I was scrolling through the circus, feeling small in every ring, till I realized I'm the lion that forgot he once was king. They condition you to kneel, then call it safety when you stay. But courage is obedience to higher voice than state. Proper instruction under this people. 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 Yeah. Fighting just the system, I'm a victim of my pride. All the jail I ever slipped in was the one behind my eyes. Envy was my warden, comfort was my cage. Had to crucify my ego just to really live this faith. They love you weak, always asking for a favor, hands out. But the blueprint in your bloodstream screams stand up, branch out. I was waiting on the leader, then the silence hit me hard. If I won't lead my own habits, how I'm speaking for my God. So I fast from all the poison that they're piping through the wires. Feed my mind on higher fire, let that scripture lift me higher. If I govern every thought, that's a kingdom in my chest. And no paper crown, no paycheck ever tells me what is best. No proper instruction, no that is people. Proper instruction, no that is gorilla. Proper instruction, no that is people. Proper instruction, no that is gorilla. They can seize your gold, never steal your glow. Chain your body, never cage your soul. Every statute small, next to one true law written on us all. Proper instruction, no that is people. Proper instruction, no that is gorilla. Proper instruction, no that is people. Proper instruction, no that is gorilla. Gorilla.
Oh, Trump, you are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy. What is that? Oh, Donald T, can't you see? Can't you see? You belong with me in this ecstasy. Yeah.
Tremendous loser.